Hello all my beautiful little unicorns and welcome back to my channel. If this is indeed the first time that you're on my channel, please allow for me to introduce myself to you. My name is Vanessa and I am the proud author of the Gentle Heart Tarot deck, the Pastel Journey Tarot, as well as the Wild Muse Oracle deck. And of course, your favorite psychic here on YouTube. Whew, you guys, this nettle tea is sending me. So healing and soothing. Perfect beverage to accompany these ultra in-depth predictions. As you're aware of through the title of this video, this Pick a Card Tarot reading is all about the next big unexpected changes that are coming for you. And I can already tell you that all four of these groups are going to be super detailed. I will be taking my sweet time with each one of these groups. So make yourself comfortable and at home, my beautiful unicorn family, and simply let yourself sink into this healing and supportive space on YouTube. So if this is the first time that you're receiving a tarot reading, allow me to explain how it works. I will introduce you to these four groups in just a moment's time, and all you're going to do is pick one of these four groups that you feel the most drawn towards. You can then scroll into the description box or to the top of the comment section and click the timestamp that corresponds to the group of your choice, and you will be fast forwarded to the relevant portion of this video where you will receive your pick a card reading about all of the next big unexpected changes that are coming for you. Furthermore, the links to the journals I've used, some of the decks, as well as the crystal jewelry that I'm wearing throughout this video can be found below in the description box. You guys know I am also the proud founder and owner of Bow Life Switzerland, so make sure that you support your favorite small business owner. But now let's get to know the four groups that you can choose from today, shall we? Group number one corresponds to the Good Tarot as well as the Aqua Aura Crystal Point and the following sound. Group number two corresponds to the Tattoo Tarot and the Shadow Angel Aura Quartz as well as the following sound. Group number three corresponds to the Daily Crystal Inspiration Oracle deck, the Amber, as well as the following sound. And group number four corresponds to the Sacred Destiny Oracle deck, the Black Obsidian Crystal, as well as the following sound. So these are the four groups that I have for you today. You can pick based on their looks, the sounds, a combination of the two, whichever feels the most supportive to you. I will now also provide you with a little moment of privacy so you can meditate on the four groups. Feel free to pause the video right here if you feel like you need a little extra moment to make up your mind. And if you're confused as to which group that you should choose, I have a free downloadable file on my website, bowlife.com, that can help you to pick the right group for yourself every single time. So I'll now give you this little moment for yourself and I'll be right back to guide you into your tarot readings. So by now, you've hopefully been able to select one of these four stunning groups in order to receive your psychic prediction about all of the next big unexpected changes that are coming towards you. I will be starting off this prediction and tarot reading with the first group, which corresponds to the Good Tarot as well as the Aqua Aura Crystal. So if this is the group that you chose, then please continue watching. And to all of my other beautiful groups, I will catch you at the click of your timestamp. Hello, group number one, and welcome to your reading. You chose the Good Tarot in connectivity to the Aqua Aura Crystal Point. This is a close-up of your crystal. This is the gorgeous Aqua Aura Crystal Point. I do have these on my website. I'm not sure if they're sold out at the moment, but feel free to check those out. If you feel inexplicably drawn to this stone and you'd like to physically enjoy one of these crystals in your life. But let's move into your prediction where we can figure out exactly what the next big unexpected changes are that are coming for you. Let's see what Spirit, the universe, and your guides have to say right now. Because as you know, None of these cards are a coincidence. They're all meant to be. You're meant to be here right now, and you're meant to be receiving this reading at this very moment. Let's see what your angels have to say. First up, we've got the King of Fire. I see here that a next big unexpected change coming towards you is a fire sign. Think to yourself an Aries, Leo, or a Sagittarius. They're a very passionate and enthusiastic type of person. We've got the strong fire sign energy here just as a default vibe for this person who's unexpectedly coming into your life, group number one. And we'll figure out the ins and outs of them, whether they are a romantic interest, whether they are someone with whom you share a connection in the form of friendship or a work relationship, maybe a business partnership. Ooh, we've got Sagittarius. So we have a confirmation of what type of fire sign energy that we've got. We've got the Archer, the Sagittarius energy, which is very expansive. In case you didn't know, Sagittarians are very honest. They're very idealistic and optimistic. So I see here that this person who is coming into your life, who you absolutely did not expect, has a strong Sagittarius placement either in their sun, moon, or rising sign. Furthermore, not to get all geeky about this, but Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, in case you didn't know this. And planet Jupiter is the planet of growth, expansion, as well as communication. So this is someone with whom you're going to grow together. Think building a relationship, building a family, building a business, for example. You've got this growth mindset going on with this person, and that's what really draws you to this relationship. That's what makes this big unexpected change such a positive one with the King of Fire. They are most likely older than you, more mature than you are. They have experienced a little bit more in this lifetime than you have, and they come with really great advice, maturity, and also just knowledge. They come with a heap of knowledge, and so many people respect this person. So having them kind of mentor you or be a part of your life is truly an honor and is something that you're going to feel really proud of, group one. Next up, we've got the Nine of Earth. So I see that this relationship is not going to be one that is strictly based on emotions. The Nine of Earth here shows me that you're getting money with this person, okay? You're increasing your financial security with this individual. Nine of Earth actually corresponds to the Nine of Pentacles in the traditional tarot. And group number one, I want you to know here with the Nine of Earth that we've got the symbol of earthly abundance, meaning more ease when it comes to money flowing into your life, your health improving, your time management. You're learning a lot from the King of Fire. And I see here in the Nine of Earth that just overall stepping up is a unexpected change that's coming towards you that has to do with another person. So this is not a journey or a path that you're embarking on completely by yourself or alone. The Four of Earth is a symbol for stability in the earthly realms, and also being really smart when it comes to your finances, being smart when it comes to your emotions. Now, what does that mean to be smart when it comes to your emotions? Well, group number one, allow me to explain. Not allowing for your emotional sanity and for your happiness to be in someone else's hands and control. Because when you depend on someone else to praise you or to love you in order for you to feel happy or in order for you to feel good about yourself, then you give that person all of your power. And I definitely see here in the Four of Earth and the Nine of Earth that you're focusing on taking your personal power back. You're focusing on ensuring that this is not the case for you. And I see that a next big unexpected change is also realizing that some people will step away from you when they realize that they can't control you. But those people may be dealing with narcissistic tendencies and overall very difficult personalities that you maybe don't necessarily want in your life anyways. So these types of people not being around you any longer once you step up for yourself and once you set boundaries, that's not necessarily a bad thing now, is it? I see here within the hills that they're quite literally going to run for the hills, especially as you level up with the King of Fire, because you're no longer okay with deception or people just telling you things that aren't true or they're not following through with. And I also see here within the hills and the Four of Earth that any obstacles that are put your way, group number one, can be overcome. And I do see here with the Sagittarius energy that you have to lean into the temperamental part of yourself that is not going to let anything get them down. So even if you receive news that is difficult, you focus on the positive. Next up, we've got the older man. We already kind of spoke about this in the King of Fire. Now, we didn't say that this person necessarily identified as a male, but we have the confirmation here, and we also have these two basically identical images. So this is truly confirmation from your guides and your angels that are with us right now during your prediction that you are going to have these dealings or a relationship with an older man, and this comes as an amazing next big unexpected change for you. And here within the older man, do know that this is someone with whom you're going to be connected with for a very long amount of time. And this older individual is biologically definitely older than you by quite a bit, so by quite a few years, not just one or two, maybe more like 5 and 9+ years. And I do want you to know here within the older man and the King of Fire that they have a lot of masculine energy and they most likely identify as male. Next up, we've got the woman. So we've got this polarity. Maybe you identify as female and there is this dealing and relationship between this older man and the woman that's coming as an unexpected change for you. If you're in a committed relationship, this may be a huge change because you just didn't expect for someone to come into your life who is meaningful, because you maybe already thought that you had someone. If you're single, then you may have never thought that this was the perfect person for you, but here they are, all of my beautiful earth angels. We have a card that popped right out of the pile that clearly wants to speak. Let's see what it is. We've got the harp. Your guides are truly with us today, group number one. It's like the cards are speaking for themselves. The harp stands for great happiness. We spoke about a relationship, potentially one that is going beyond a friendship, right? A relationship that is more than just platonic. And the harp shows us that there is great happiness there. In connectivity to the hills, it shows us that even if there are obstacles to overcome, you're doing so for this person, with this person, because it's worth it, because the relationship just brings so much joy, so much happiness, so much freedom and stability that it's worth any types of obstacles that you may have to try to overcome. Next up, we've got crystal clear. So I do see here for you, group number one, that a next big unexpected change coming for you is an insane amount of clarity. So a lot of the questions that you have been asking yourself about your future, whether it be in your love life or your professional life, a lot of these things are just becoming crystal clear, and they're no longer questions. You simply have the answers right before you. The same goes for your relationship with the King of Fire. This is someone who is very trustworthy. This older man is meant to be in your life, and this person is meant to bring you a lot of clarity. They have this mentor type of energy as well, where you don't just have a relationship that's maybe close in a more romantic sense, but you have a relationship that is one of a mentor and a mentee where they can teach you a lot of things and give you great advice. I see here within being authentic for you, group number one. Moving on from this situation that we have here with the King of Fire and their Sagittarius energy, I see that a next big unexpected change that's coming for you is that the more clarity that you feel like you have, the more you feel as though you can be authentic. So whenever things in your life are all over the place and you feel like it's not completely clear where you're headed, what's coming next, it's hard for you to let your guard down or kind of put the mask down, quite literally speaking, as we have here within Be Authentic. But I do see that through clarity, you find more comfort in being yourself, and also in clarity in your relationships by understanding exactly who likes you for whom you are, and who is just around you because they feel like they can benefit from you or you can do something for them. That also makes you feel like being yourself to an extent that you've never felt like before, because to you, losing people who are only around you because it benefits them is the best thing that could have happened to you anyways. So you're not afraid for that to happen. You're also not afraid to go into rehabilitation, maybe quite literally speaking, if you have been dealing with any difficulties when it comes to substances. But rehab can also be necessary for those of us who are dealing with strong mental anguish, EDs, for example, depression, burnout. All of these types of situations can require rehab. And I see here that if you have been going through some deep, dark emotions, through some heavy shadow work, and it's all just been too much, you need a timeout, group number 1. And your guides are telling you that it will be crystal clear once you're real with yourself, once you're being authentic, that rehabilitation is really the only way forward, and you need to rebuild from the ground up. You cannot continue to try to move forward on a foundation that is wonky and wobbly. You really need to give yourself time away from everything that you know, from familiar surroundings, and maybe quite literally either take a vacation or go to a actual rehab center where you can just have some peace and you can simply rebuild. It sounds very serious, group number 1, but I hope that you can appreciate the fact that my readings go into so many different layers and are so multifaceted. Make sure that you leave a little sun emoji below in the comment section. Let me and others know that you chose group number 1 and that you appreciate the depth and the realness and the raw authenticity of my pick a card tarot readings. Now let's move further into your prediction. We've got fear as well as magic. So behind the door of fear, that is where magic lies for you, group number 1. I can see here that if there has been a lot of procrastination that's been going on within your life, you will find that what comes as a big unexpected change is that every time you go beyond what you perceive as a limitation, every time you go beyond your personal fears, you find magic. So for example, every time you make phone calls that you're uncomfortable to make, all of a sudden something really good happens in your life. Every time you deal with a financial situation that scares you, all of a sudden you find that money flows more freely towards you. This is what I mean with every time you go beyond the door of fear, something magical happens that shows you that you are meant to overcome these perceived limitations. You are meant to overcome these obstacles that you think are in your life, because it's really just mental. A fear cannot harm you physically speaking. It is just a construct that we've made up in our minds. And I see here with an energy that what comes as a huge change once you stop giving fear so much power is the increase in energy that you have, and the fact that you can now start to build reserves of energy. Group number 1, if you have spent all your energy, or you've been spending all of your energy and you've never really taken time to build up reserves, that may also be a reason why you have to do something as radical as just take complete time away and go to literal rehab, because you need to rebuild your energy reserves. You need to put yourself in a situation where you are not constantly burnt out and not constantly running on empty and running on zero. And that's what I see can also slowly but surely begin to rebuild itself. The less that you give your fears any type of time a day. Then we've got determination for you. I'm not sure if you can see this card, group number 1, but here within determination, know that once your energy reserves have been rebuilt and have been put in a healthy spot where you have energy for yourself, for hobbies, for things that you like to do, you will find that determination comes back. Because when your energy has been spent and you're feeling burnt out or depressed, it's really hard for you to find the determination to go after your goals and your dreams. But do know here that it's all about energy. Energy doesn't lie, and energy is one of our most valuable assets that we have. So we've got to be really careful with it, and we got to make sure we take good care of our personal energy. And that is what I see coming as an unexpected change and understanding to you. You're following your own rhythm, and you're understanding that energy is so subjective. Some people may have energy all day if they drink a cup of coffee in the morning, and for other people, they have a lot of energy if they go for a run, if they work out, if they practice meditation, or do yoga. I see here within following your own rhythm that your energy is something that you shouldn't judge, no matter where or how you get it from. As long as you're getting the energy, just focus on yourself, group number one. Don't worry about what it looks like or whether it's really unconventional. Just get your energetic space flowing. Next up, we've got relax the hold of darkness and be at cause. So this makes a lot of sense when we connect this to the fear card and magic and relaxing the hold of darkness, right? Fear quite literally being depicted here in black with this door, with this brick wall, having this darkness here, relaxing the hold of it and being in your full bloom, being at cause, doing what you're meant to do, your purpose in life, finding your purpose in life. Those are all things that you're capable of once you relax the hold of darkness, group number one, which we spoke about here within the fear card. So group number one, this is just the start of your psychic reading. Please allow for me to clear and cleanse the space, and I'll be right back with you to guide you even deeper and further into your reading so we can figure out more about the next big unexpected changes that are coming for you. Welcome back, group number one. We have cleansed and cleared the space, and now we're going even deeper into the next big unexpected changes that are coming for you. Let's see what your guides have to say. We've got the Hanged One. What else do we have? The Priestess, as well as the Hermit. These are all three major arcana cards. Now, in case you didn't know, in tarot, the major arcana cards are the first 22 cards of the tarot, and they describe major life events, which makes a lot of sense, as in this prediction, we're talking about the next big unexpected changes that are coming for you, so big unexpected life events. Let's first talk about the Hanged One. Now, the Hanged One represents a transition where you may also have to make some sacrifices. So, for example, moving to a city where you know there are more opportunities for you, and the sacrifice is, of course, leaving your hometown, your loved ones, and everything that you knew behind, leaving behind something that was stable. The Hanged One can also represent some sort of transition where you have to give up some luxuries in order to grow and become better, where you have to give up some stability and step into the unknown. Think to yourself, for example, quitting a job to start your own business, or quitting studies that you know don't resonate with you in order to begin studies in a different field that suits you more appropriately, group number one, or that you know you're more into. You're going to have to give up the stability of what you knew and what you've been doing up until this point to start something new, to try something new, to venture into something new. And I see here within the Hermit that what comes as a next big unexpected change is just how much time that you're spending with yourself in contemplation and how comfortable it actually is starting to become for you to soul search. You're realizing that while there is a lot of internal work that can always be done, there's a lot that you have gone through, that you have grown through. At the same time, here within the Hermit, you can also praise yourself for how far you have come, for the person that you have been able to evolve into, group number one. And I see here within the Hermit that we also have some divine guidance that you didn't expect coming towards you. And I see that in connectivity to the Priestess. Now, the Priestess, also known as the High Priestess in the traditional tarot, is a card of mystery as well as your unconscious awareness activating. And here in connectivity to the Hermit, I see some epiphanies. I see some sort of spiritual enlightenment, maybe a connection with the universe, with God, whatever you'd like to call it, finally igniting and finally actually becoming a source of drive and inspiration. And sometimes you really do need to be in a place where your back is against the wall or where you've hit rock bottom in order to look for a conversation with yourself and the universe, in order to conversate and talk to the divine, literally talk to it, literally at night instead of worrying. Talk to the divine, talk to the universe or to God, whatever you'd like to call it, Ask for help. Talk about what's bothering you, what's keeping you up at night. Talk about your worries, your fears, and your anxieties, and ask to be led in the right direction. Ask to be guided towards where you need to go in order to step towards the light and happiness and success. Because one thing that's always there is the divine. But if you don't reach out to it, if you don't communicate and talk, then of course there will be nothing that will be shown to you in that sense. So you have to open up a little bit, group number one. And I definitely see that what comes as a next big unexpected change is that this is very therapeutic and helpful to you. And it may have seemed strange, cringy, weird, uncomfortable, but by overcoming that type of thought process and just doing it, understanding that there's nothing to feel ashamed about, especially if there's no one else in the room and it's just you, will strengthen your confidence as well as your bond with the unseen. Next up, we've got the Ace of Cups. Now, usually the Ace of Cups depicts the beginning of a new relationship. And we did talk about that during the first part of your reading, right? Where we had the King of Fire, where we had this person coming into your life, and that is a new relationship. And that is maybe also the type of energy that we have reflected here within the Ace of Cups, that presenting itself within your entire psychic prediction, group number one. But I do also want you to know here in the Ace of Cups that this is like a new relationship with the divine, with the universe, with your spirit guides, your angels. I can see that this new connection that you're creating is exciting. Once you get over the discomfort, especially if you've never done it before, you will actually find that in moments where you think you're alone, where you're lying in bed at night and you wish you had someone there, talking to the moon, the stars, the universe, can feel like you've got a whole army of friends and supporters right there, and can really give you the support that you need in order to be triumphant and confident. That's what the Six of Wands stands for. I see as a big change that what comes for you is that the more confidence you find in these lonely moments, or what used to be lonely moments, the more you actually find that you are so confident because you know you don't need anyone. You know that there is nobody who is giving you confidence. There is no external source that is validating you, that you're dependent on for your confidence. And that is something that no one can ever take away from you, group number one. No matter what happens in business, in love, with friendships, when you have this deep inner confidence that's unshakable, that comes from a place that has no external hold, you know that the world is truly yours, that you're thinking big and that you can conquer the world. You can conquer anything. I see here within the Five of Cups that what you are overcoming, what you are going to have to sacrifice, is the comfort of victim mentality or thinking small. So you may have both of these every now and then within your day-to-day life, group number one. I see with the Hanged One and the Five of Cups that sometimes you feel as though life is unfair. Sometimes you feel as though you can't accomplish these things that other people have because maybe you're not talented enough, you're not in the right spot, you're not wealthy enough, you don't have enough time, you feel like you don't look the part. These are all the types of thoughts that I see in the Five of Cups that you will have to sacrifice, that you will have to transition away from. That's what the Hanged One stands for. And the Five of Cups shows some difficult emotions that will have to be put up for your sacrifice, your own personal sacrifice ritual, in order to gain this knowledge, this illumination, this new relationship with yourself and the divine that will lead you to greater success. Now, the Ace of Pentacles does also show me here that what comes as a big unexpected change for you is also a transition when it comes to business, when it comes to your money mindset. So you may not even realize that you're spending a lot less, or you're a lot less fixated on what's cool and you're simply focused on what you need, or that you're actually in a space where it's finally time for you to try something new when it comes to your career. The ace is always a symbol of a new beginning. It's always a symbol of trying something fun. And I want to remind you, group number one, that even if something doesn't work out, it doesn't matter. Who cares? Just try again. There are countless successful business people that we all know who have started and failed in so many different ventures, who have tried so many different things that didn't work out, and the difference between their success and other people wishing they would have that success. So the difference between someone who defines themselves as successful, who we see as successful, whether it be financially, whether it be when it comes to health and emotions. And the difference between that person and someone who isn't successful is that they continue trying, they continue putting forth effort, they continue thinking big, they continue believing that if someone else can do it, then I can do it. And that is the type of mindset that I can see that you must adopt in order for the next big unexpected changes that are coming for you to have so much more magnetic, magical, huge surprises in store for you. Next up, we've got disconnect. Now, group number 1, disconnecting is something that you're unexpectedly going to do that's a pretty big change. Maybe you're deactivating a social account for good. That could be Facebook, that could be Instagram. Whatever social account it is that you're disconnecting from, I definitely see that what comes as a huge change is this feeling of freedom, of lightness, and you didn't expect it to be so profound, but it really is going to be like a life-changing experience for you, group number 1. And you're going to ask yourself, why didn't I do this sooner? Why didn't I disconnect at a time in my life where I truly needed it? Why did I only do this now? But group number 1, remind yourself here, hindsight is 2020. You don't need that. All you need to do is continue to take inspired action in the right direction. You will make mistakes. You will go through times where you ask yourself why certain things had to happen, why certain things went wrong, why you didn't take action sooner. But instead of beating yourself up about something that you cannot change, which is the past, group number 1, continue to take action moving forward in a direction that you know is creating the type of change and the type of forward movement that you desire. Create momentum for yourself by continuing to take action. And here, connecting that to the murky waters, the message that we have for you, group number 1, is to keep going even when things are unclear, even when things are in a space where you're not quite sure what to make of it or what lies in the waters. As we have these sharks here in these murky waters, we have some sort of fins of other creatures. We don't really know what's in there, but just because it looks like a shark or a fin of something scary doesn't mean that it has to be that. What if this is the next beautiful creature that you discover that is actually friendly, that looks like it's a carnivore that's going to eat you up, but it's actually a herbivore that just wants to be friends with you? It's actually your next spirit animal. I mean, within murky waters, when you're not 100% sure what's going on, don't judge the situation. As I see here that good changes can happen for you if you don't jump straight to judging, because whenever you already shut off in situations, you already disconnect from taking action, that's when you miss out on opportunities. Like if there is a job opportunity and you already think in your head, oh no, this is not for me, they don't pay well enough, this isn't in an area of town that I want to commute to, you may disconnect and shut yourself off from another job opportunity that may present itself in the same breath. Maybe whoever is offering the job has another office, another space, another place that you can slot yourself into that works beautifully for you. But because you're not listening or taking action, or you're just kind of saying to yourself, oh, well, this is probably not it anyways, and you're closing your mind to it, then you close your mind to possibility. And that is where your guides and your angels are trying to speak to you. They're trying to remind you of the fact that anxiety is not something that you have to give power to. Often we shut our minds off when anxiety takes over, when we're afraid, when we feel like we've got our backs against the wall, when we feel like this is too difficult for us to deal with. The murky waters cause too much anxiety to want to figure out what's in it. Try to just push through. Try to just be strong for that little extra while longer, group number 1, as a lot of the next big unexpected changes that are coming for you come right beyond your comfort zone, right beyond where you thought your limit was when it comes to tolerating anxiety. I see here within ideation that whenever you move past those boundaries that you thought that you had, that you're now realizing, Maybe my boundaries are actually a lot higher. Maybe my tolerance for things is a lot stronger than I ever thought it would be. That's when you're in a space of creation, because now you understand that what you thought was impossible is actually possible, group number one. And when that happens, it's almost like there is this switch that flicks, right? Did I say that right, or is it the other way around? You get what I mean, group number one. You guys always understand what I'm trying to say. It's almost like this complete change in mindset, this complete upliftment and exchange of who you were to now a new version that doesn't believe in limitations. And I see here within the messenger of water that the less you believe in limitations and the less that you allow for anxiety to dictate anything in your life, the more you will find that dealing with emotions becomes easy. It becomes just a day-to-day thing. You see emotions from a distance. You understand that those feelings aren't you. You can just observe difficult feelings. You don't have to give in to them. You don't have to lean into them. You don't have to give them any power over your decision making. You can simply observe those difficult emotions, thank them for whatever they are communicating to you, and you can move on, taking action in the right direction, even if that means going through the anxiety and the fear. Next up, we've got the Ace of Earth, and I want you to know that this is actually identical to the Ace of Pentacles that we had up here. It's just two different ways of describing the same card. In this deck, the Suit of Pentacles is called Earth, as you know, Pentacles corresponds to the element of earth. Now, the Ace of Earth shows us that new beginning, right? And that material force that's coming towards you. And I see that an urgent message that you're meant to receive about these next big unexpected changes is to be practical when it comes to money matters, when it comes to your career and your professional life. Don't just think about the bottom line. Don't just think about how you can flex the most or, get that next big material object. Be a little bit practical so you've also got enough time, enough work-life balance to actually live and to make time for friends and family. That's very important. Group number one, leave a little stag emoji below in the comment section to let me and others know that you're still here, you're still with me, you're still within your psychic prediction about all of the next big unexpected changes that are coming for you. So I will cleanse this space one more time for you, and we can go even deeper into some more unexpected changes that are coming towards you next. So just give me a second and I'll be right back with you. Hello again, all of my lovely babies of the zodiac of group number one. Now let's continue on into your pick a card tarot reading prediction about the next big unexpected changes that are coming for you. Let's see what we've got. We've got the Queen of Cups, we've got the Six of Cups, and the Three of Pentacles. So I see a home that is being built. That is an unexpected change coming for you. If you grew up in a difficult situation or in a childhood home that was just not steady, where you didn't feel safe and you didn't feel like it was safe to express your emotions, know here within the Queen of Cups that this is completely changing. I see that your home life, your personal life is changing for the better in the sense of you finally being able to say how you feel, either through someone coming into your life who has this motherly energy that allows you to express your emotions, or through you actually becoming this mother archetype, through you becoming this person who allows for space for others to talk about how they feel, but you also remind yourself that just because you didn't feel safety growing up, or in certain instances like in school or with friends, with family members, to say how you truly felt and what you were going through, that doesn't mean that you have to repeat that cycle and that pattern. As I see here in the Six of Cups, that you're actually dedicated to making sure that your children and your descendants are going to think of life of more as a team effort and a collaboration, to think of people who are rude or who are being unapproachable in the sense of maybe they're having a hard day, maybe they're going through a tough time, maybe they don't want to talk, maybe something made them feel this way. That's what I see here in the Three of Pentacles. Rather than taking things seriously, I can see that some of the unexpected changes coming for you is just this depth of empathy and compassion that you're beginning to feel for other people, no matter how they treat you. Don't allow how other people treat you to make you feel like that is a reflection of your worth. I see in the Three of Pentacles that you want to work together. You actually want for every living being on this planet to be happy, to be free, no matter what type of emotions they have expressed towards you. And I definitely see here that this break in toxic patterns, this break in negativity is something that is just coming from a place of so much sincerity and just not wanting to repeat hurt that has happened to you. You don't wish that on your worst enemy, no matter what they may have done to you. And I see here within the Sun, group number 1, which is actually one of the most favorable cards of the tarot and of the major arcana, that this brings you so much bounty, so much prosperity, joy, and bliss. Because this is true happiness, this is true empathy, this is true love. It is unconditional. It's not based on whether someone is nice to you, whether someone understands you, whether someone has the same worldview as you have. No, group number 1. It is based on this sheer want from you and this sheer capability to give, to love, to accept, and to empathize with someone who may not act in a way that is kind or in alignment with you at all, but you still have this desire to understand. You still have this desire to just let them do what they need to do without allowing it to affect you, and to wish them well on their journey, to wish them nothing but love, to wish them nothing but kindness. Next up, we've got the Five of Cups for you. So the Five of Cups here shows me that there are definitely some people who will be so confused by this attitude of yours. Group number 1, if all your life you've been a rather reactive person, or you've been someone who can get angry or upset at what some other people may say to you, I want you to know here within the Five of Cups that those people are going to feel really confused when all of a sudden you're not giving that toxicity the time of the day. They're going to feel like something is up. They're going to start telling you that you've changed and that you're different, and it's important for you to not dwell on that and to remind yourself to not take criticism from someone whom you wouldn't take advice from. I see here within the Spirit of Swords that you've got to keep your tenacity. You've got to make sure that you remind yourself that this is your path, and if something feels right to you, you don't have to justify it to another person. And at the end of the day, your path is up to you to decide, like when you are at a crossroads, whether you want to take a different direction, whether you want to try a different approach. Because when you're going through a tough time and when consequences are there, the people who usually have the most to say about your decision making, they're not there once you're dealing with the consequences. They're not helping you deal with the consequences. They're not paying the bills, the fines, the therapy sessions. They are not there holding your hand when you're alone at night crying and sad. They're usually just there to offer unsolicited advice, right? So that's where you've got to remind yourself to really kind of make a break and a cut between whose opinions you are valuing and taking on board and who simply needs to kind of either take a seat and stop talking to you about things that you didn't ask their advice and opinion on, or someone who you simply just need to stay away from. Next up, we've got the Ace of Wands. Now, the Ace of Wands shows me an increase in ambition and willpower through the fact that you're not taking any kind of criticism from someone from whom you wouldn't take advice from. So if there is someone who has drama in their life and in their relationships all the time, they are constantly in a situation of infidelity with a partner, of lies, of heartbreak, of insincerity, and they're giving you advice on how to be a good person, a good partner in a relationship. They're giving you relationship advice, period. If you wouldn't take any type of advice from them, then don't take criticism when they tell you what you're doing wrong, group number 1, because it's really not necessary for you to take that on board, as the Ace of Wands here shows me that after all, your ambition and your willpower comes from a place of believing yourself. It comes from a place of thinking big. And I see here within the Magician that that is a type of vibe and energy that you want to continue to foster. And you can't do that, of course, if you have small-minded people around you or people who always just have something negative to point out. Now, in the Magician, I can see here that you're also partaking in a lot of manifestation. And when you do a lot of manifesting, you will start to realize that there are a lot of synchronicities around you. Now, these synchronicities can be symbolic. It could be that you're constantly seeing symbols of suns, for example, or that you're constantly encountering ants, and always three of them, like we have here within the Three of Pentacles. Maybe part of the symbolism that you're seeing is a number sequence, right? Within the Magician, we've got the number 1. So maybe you constantly see the number 111 or the number 11. And that is where I want you to know here that you've got some synchronicities that are guiding you, group number 1. They're guiding you towards these next big unexpected changes that are coming for you. And it's up to you whether you want to take them seriously, whether you want to, quote unquote, listen to the synchronicities, take their guidance on board, move towards the synchronicities, or whether you would rather kind of note them but still make decisions based on rationality. That is completely up to you. But what does really matter moving forward is that you set healthy boundaries between yourself and especially people who are like energy vampires, who drain your energy, who take away from your ambition. I see here that the more you set healthy boundaries, the more you find that big unexpected changes that come for you happen more frequently. Because when you hang around people who never see opportunity, who only see and speak lack, then that is exactly what you will manifest in your life. And that's also why we've got the Magician here, which is trying to make you aware of your manifestations and also of the fact that your words are manifestations. You've got to be really careful about what you say and what you speak of, group number 1. And I have the wildest story about manifesting and health and, making jokes about certain things that then actually happened because words are just that powerful. And it really made me think to myself, I have to be so much more careful with what I say, the words I speak, the things that I put out there into the universe, because they will happen. So I really do need to choose words really carefully, especially with matters of health, of love, of emotional stability, and also of relationships. If you're in a relationship and you're constantly saying out loud that you're not sure if it'll last, or you think maybe a breakup or space would be good, guess what you're manifesting? You're manifesting a breakup. You're manifesting space. If you're constantly talking about how worried you are of getting ill or sick or something happening to you, guess what you're going to manifest? You're going to draw that into your life. So try to ensure that what you're saying, that the boundaries that you set between positive things that you want to manifest and things that you want to keep away, that those boundaries are set firm. Say to yourself how successful you want to be, how lovable that you are, how passionate that you are as a human being, how kind that you are. Speak those things into existence so that you don't have to deal with situations that you're actually trying to get rid of, now all of a sudden being drawn and attracted towards you. Next up, we've got tell it like it is. So a next big unexpected change is some truth that's coming to light here. And I see that this has to do with work. I see that this has to do with a project that you were really passionate about. And maybe you were a bit of a investigator here. So if at your workplace there was money that went missing or just overall a mystery that needed to be solved, it can actually even be something that you were looking into in your spare time, right? Like a crime show, like some sort of relationship that's in the public eye where something just wasn't right and you knew there was an issue there. You knew that someone was not who they said that they were. I see here that as a big change, what's coming to light is the truth, and you will be able to confirm that gut feeling of yours that you were right in the first place about this particular person, about whom the truth is coming to light. I see here within Hope on the Horizon that what also comes as a next big unexpected change for you is the fact that you feel like the future is a lot brighter than you ever thought that it was. So think of this little star here as your future, and you see the hope on the horizon. You're grabbing onto it. You're holding on to what you see as a future that you desire, a future that makes you happy. And I see here within Becoming Nobody that you're also not afraid to completely completely rework who you thought that you were. You're not afraid to identify as someone else. And by identifying as someone else, I don't mean changing your sensual orientation or anything like that. I want you to know here within Becoming Nobody that it's just about being unattached to this current version of yourself. You do not mind changing your mindset when it comes to nutrition, love, finances. If you find that there is something that works better for you, like eating a plant-based diet or doing cardio exercises instead of weightlifting, maybe you find that investing in real estate is better than investing in stocks for you, or you're just starting to change your mind into figuring out that, hey, money in the bank isn't really doing anything. What will really work for me is if I invest it in a smart way. That is what I mean with becoming nobody. You're okay with changing your mindset, your core beliefs. You're malleable, you're flexible. You understand that you don't know everything at any given point, and that it's okay for you to change your mind and change your opinion. That just shows that you're an intelligent, adaptable human being who is open to changes that are constantly happening in this world and adjusting to them. I see here that the more you adjust and go with these changes and go with the flow, the more you will find magic in your life and unexpected synchronicities that are really positive. We have this here connected to the Magician, which I hope you remember. Group number 1 was all about magic and synchronicities, number sequences, and things in your life that seem too good to be true, right? Next up, we've got pain. As a next big unexpected change, we actually do have pain when setting boundaries, because you just have this strong feeling of loyalty for some reason. Even if someone did you wrong, if you ever love them, you'll always love them, you'll always care about them, and that can cause pain. And you will always want to protect someone who meant something to you. You're a very loyal, protective, empathetic, and compassionate individual, group number 1. And it shows here within your prediction. And it's important for you to remind yourself that certain people and situations are not worth your loyalty, and you have to cut the cord. You have to remove that connection. I see here within the ghost that that's exactly what you got to do. You've got a ghost, group number 1. If someone has played games with your heart, whether you have been in a relationship with them for days, weeks, months, or years, and you know that they did you wrong, you know that this is not something you should tolerate, because if you tolerate it, that means you're okay with the disrespect. You need to ghost. You need to remove yourself from the situation. You need to completely disappear. You can no longer be in proximity with a situation that causes pain. You can no longer protect someone that showed that they don't appreciate your protection and you sticking your neck out for them. It's important that you focus on your blessings, group number 1, that you focus on your own life, that you focus on breaking patterns of trauma, patterns of emotional hurt, of emotional anguish, that you break any type of generational curses that may be here. I know it's hard to be the one having to do this, but you can, group number 1. You're fully capable of it. And again, I want you to leave a little sun emoji below in the comment section to let me and others know that you made it all the way to the end of your prediction, as we are now going to wrap up your reading about all of the next big unexpected changes that are coming for you. So these are all of the changes that are coming towards you, group number 1, and I hope that you found these insightful, supportive, as well as healing. Make sure you thumbs up this video if you appreciate my pick a card reading predictions. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you're new, because if you made it all the way to the end, we clearly vibe with one another. You're clearly meant to stick around and be a part of the Unicorn fam. So thank you for being here, group number 1, and I can't wait to catch up with you during one of my upcoming pick a card readings and predictions. Hello, group number 2, and welcome to your prediction about the next big unexpected changes coming for you. You chose the Tattoo Tarot in connectivity to the Shadow Angel Aura Quartz. This is the beautiful shadow angel aura. It is absolutely stunning. Amazing choice, group number 2. But now let's move into your pick a card tarot reading about the next big unexpected changes that are coming towards your life, shall we? I'm so excited to figure out what Spirit has in store for you, what your angels have to say, and overall what these big changes entail and how it's going to affect your life. I hope that you're sitting in a comfortable position and that you're ready for us to uncover some truths. So let's get into it, shall we? First and foremost, we've got the moon. Now, the moon is a highly interesting major arcana card of the tarot because it shows psychic ability. It speaks of your emotionality, but it also tells you that not everything is as it seems. So a lot of these big, unexpected changes that are coming for you will stem from a place of you thinking something will go one way, but actually it's going a completely other and different way. So maybe you actually thought that you're not going to pass that exam, that you're not going to get a promotion, that you will not find love, but things all of a sudden go in the complete opposite direction, so it can go in a completely favorable manner for you. And I do want you to know here within the moon that listening to your instinct and your gut feeling is important if you want for things to turn out in a way that you can feel at ease and at peace with. So the moon is already showing us that there is a connection to your inner realm. There's a connection to your divine feminine. And also not everything is as it seems, but in a good way, group number 2. Next up, we've got the 8 of Coins reversed. Now in the 8 of Coins reversed, there is a message here for you, and that message is to work smarter, not harder, group number 2. I see that some of the unexpected changes coming towards you are that a lot of things that you did manually can now be automated. So maybe at your workplace, there are some things that you used to do manually, and now all of a sudden there is some sort of program or software that allows you to do things with a lot less time and involvement from your end. The same goes for things at your home. Maybe you're splurging on getting someone to help you clean. Maybe you've got a meal plan that you've subscribed to that you're quote unquote splurging on, but it's not actually a splurge because not having to put in so much work into housework or cooking, living healthily, and kind of giving yourself an option that is easier but more convenient will leave you with more time to invest in your work, and you'll most likely be able to make what you're spending back tenfold. So it's actually an investment in yourself to focus on making healthy choices and also freeing up some of your time so that you can not only work but also recuperate, also make sure that you're maintaining your mental and physical health. Because group number 2, honestly, I don't know when it became the norm to have your home, your living space together, to eat healthily, have a skincare routine, actually keep a job, or somehow be able to generate income. Then you have to maintain your appearance through doing various different things. You have to be smart, intelligent, eloquent. You need to read at least a book a month, a book a week, whatever your standard is. There are just so many things that we're being told to do to level up or to be successful, to be someone who is productive. How do we have enough time in the day for this, especially for a lot of us who maybe have a 9-to-5 job, a lot of us who are doing things that do take up a large chunk of our days? Since when has it become normal to have to perform in every area of your life and to have to be amazing at all of these things, and for all of these things to kind of be a part of your success story? Pick and choose what resonates with you, and everything else, don't even bother overthinking. I see here within the 8 of Swords that not even overthinking those types of things, that's the best thing you can do for yourself, because the 8 of Swords really does show some mental restriction when the anxiety levels are rising, because you're just asking yourself how you're going to fit everything in your busy schedule. Now, group number 2, I do want you to know here that a lot of what we see on social media, it's really just a highlight reel. We also have to take into account that a lot of social media influencers and people who work on social media showing these lifestyle goals, that is their main job, right? To create this type of content. If you actually have another job that isn't creating content, that isn't creating a highlight reel, Of course, you're not going to have the same resources and time to invest into being quote unquote goals. So don't feel as though anything in your life has to adhere to those standards in order to be acceptable or good. You are acceptable and good as you are, group number 2. Next up, we've got the Two of Cups. Let's continue on that note. Let me tell you, group number 2, and next big unexpected change coming for you is true love, as the Two of Cups shows that deep, intimate, emotional connection that you can only have with a true lover, with someone who not only loves you on an emotional level, but also spiritually. You have that soulmate connection, that twin flame love. And I see here within the Two of Cups that doesn't even need to be romantic. This is the type of love that you can also experience with family, with children. This is the type of love that just reminds you of the fact that at the end of the day, nothing really matters except how you make people feel and those whom you spend the most time with. I see here within the King of Coins that we've basically got the King of Earth signs. So think to yourself a Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo. They are grounded, they are reliable. I want you to know here that a next big unexpected change coming for you has to do with this King of Coins person. It has to do with this person who is business savvy, who is an entrepreneur. There could be a love story here in connectivity to the Two of Cups. However, if you're already taken, group number 2, and that isn't an option anyways, I want you to know here that the King of Coins could also represent a deep emotional love that you're developing for someone new, for someone platonic, for someone who means the world to you, but not in a sense of wanting to be with them in an intimate way, but more a relationship like a fatherly relationship, a mentor type of relationship. Next up, we've got the Nine of Cups. Now, group 2, a big unexpected change coming for you is leveling up emotionally and how you feel about your surroundings and your relationships. Now, the Nine of Cups is an amazing card of the minor arcana of the Suit of Cups. This is a card of wish fulfillment. This card is actually also known as the Genie in a Bottle card, the wish card, quite literally speaking. It's all about satisfaction as well as sensual pleasures being fulfilled and you being able to make a wish and that wish come to fruition. That's why I call it the Genie in a Bottle card. I'm not sure if anyone else calls it the Genie in a Bottle card, but group number 2, it is the wish card, the wish fulfillment card. That is a fact of the minor arcana of the Nine of Cups card. So I do see here that an unexpected change is that a wish is being fulfilled, and this wish is being fulfilled by one of your angels. Now, group number 2, if you do believe in angels, then this will resonate with you. There's spiritual guidance here and protection from harm from your angels. And I see here in the Nine of Cups that you feel that there is some sort of presence around you. You will notice that there was some sort of protection there for you that will change the way that you think. So even if you're not sure whether you've got guardian angels or what your angels are really doing for you and what not, do know that there will be a situation that changes how you feel about that in an instant. So you, for example, deciding to postpone a trip or some sort of outing, and then you actually read that there was a fatality on the street or there was some sort of accident, some sort of natural disaster that you could have run into if you would have gone at the time that you first planned to go out. But what happened is some sort of guardian angel held you back and kept you from running into that difficult situation. I see here within the Vulture that there is also this worry that you have, of course, because once you realize that you've got this guardian angel, you don't want to lose it, and you also don't want to be in a situation where you're overthinking your gut feeling. Group number 2, if you're in the same boat of overthinking your gut feeling, then you know how difficult it is to come back to a rooted and grounded place about whether this is your gut feeling and your instinct or just your anxiety speaking, right? If you have to make a difficult decision and your gut feeling is telling you one thing, but your rational mind, the rest of you is telling you something else and you overthink, it can be hard to really discern what's even going on, because there's just this huge emotional kind of ball of everything. And that's where I see here within the wheel that your guides want to talk about your indecisiveness and allowing your life to ramble aimlessly because of indecisiveness. That's something you want to avoid at all costs, all of my beautiful souls of group number 2. Know here within the next big unexpected changes that are coming for you that you will be faced with having to make harsh decisions against your indecisiveness. So there will be situations in which being indecisive, it's not even an option, and you can tell there's no way out. You have to decide now. There's no way to postpone. There's no way to say, I'm going to deal with this situation later. You're going to have to deal with it immediately. Like, for example, a friend needing help, getting through a breakup, maybe someone close to you, someone who's in your family needing to go to the hospital, needing medical attention, a pet, for example. There is no time for you to debate, for you to think about whether you've got time or not. All of a sudden you've got time. So if you have time for that, you also have time for yourself, group number 2. Bear that in mind. You also have time for the things that you want to do. And it's important for you to also bear in mind here that everything is temporary. A big unexpected change that's coming towards you is also a temporary tent type of situation, a temporary living situation. So someone may temporarily crash with you, temporarily be with you. I do also see here within your cards that you might temporarily go somewhere, like on a trip, right? So you would temporarily be pitching your tent in a different area, in a different geographical location. And I do see here within the tent that what that actually does for you, it completely changes your energetic frequency when it comes to work. It completely kind of resets your mind and reminds you of the fact that sometimes we feel so caught up in not having enough time and getting as much done as possible that we forget that being effective is what really matters. You don't need to do everything that you've got on your to-do list. You've just got to do the most important things. So group number 2, what I would recommend for you is to write out your to-do list. Put all of the points on a piece of paper. Do it right now if you can by pausing this video, but don't forget to come back. Or do it after you've received your reading. Either way, make sure that you write down all of your points. Leave a little pen emoji below if this is something that you vow to do. Now, once you've written down everything that you know you want to do, you want to accomplish, you want to get to, pick the 5 most pressing ones and the 5 ones that will have the biggest impact and effect on your life, positive impact and effect, and focus on those. The rest is most likely not all that important. I see here within the 6 of Swords that it is so important that you limit how many things that you've got going on. Otherwise, there will definitely be this sensation of burning out and of just being torn in too many different directions, as you can see here with the swords going in from every angle and anguish being the result of it. Make sure that you are making enough space and time for you to recover, for you to travel, for you to do the things that you like, as the 4 of Pentacles confirms here that when it comes to your time, you've got to protect it. See this coin, this resource, this finite resource as your time, because that is what your time is, group number 2. It is a finite resource. It is one of your most valuable resources that you've got, and you have to treat it as such. Look around. Are you spending your time in a way that makes you feel like you're really honoring this most valuable resource that has been given to you? Do you feel as though you're spending time with people who value your time and who value you as a person, who make you feel as though this is the type of crowd that I want to be around that's going to elevate me? These are all important questions for you to ask yourself and then act accordingly. I see here within comfort that a big part of how I think a lot of us, me included, don't get me wrong, group number 2, I am not perfect, and I want to put myself into this equation as well, because I have done it many times. A big part of us wasting our precious time is because of comfort. It's because we are used to something. So why take ourselves out of the comfort zone, right? Why change something if it has worked up until this point? But remind yourself that every time you're just reliving the same situation or the same day that you already know that you could actually upgrade, be it a relationship, be it getting that extra workout in, eating just a little more healthier, but you're choosing what you always do. Every time you do that, you fail to level up. You're just staying in your comfort zone. And whenever you fail to level up, I want you to know here that one thing that you're doing to yourself that you may not even realize is you're kind of isolating yourself from getting to that next tier where you may meet people who resonate with the new version of you, with the improved version of who you are, with your highest self. Just think about it. The more you stay within comfort, the less likely you are to, for example, upgrade your job situation, your living situation, the neighborhood you live in, the friends that you hang out with. And as a result, you will kind of be in the same circle for a long time in your life. And that doesn't have to be a bad thing. But if you're looking to make a lot of different connections and friends, or you're an entrepreneur, you want to become an entrepreneur, you've got your own business, and you want to experience a lot of different things in life, then you, of course, need to get out of that comfort zone to not isolate yourself from the experiences that you truly desire and want. Next up, we've got big changes. Now, group 2, I can see here that the unexpected changes that are coming for you are huge life events. And you may also be attending weddings, engagement parties. I want you to know here within these big changes that are coming towards you that these are happy changes and also changes that bring peace and innocence back into your life. We have that here within the dove. And a lot of these changes, you could have already known that they're coming towards you because it's like the signs are hidden in plain sight. Like, for example, if you have a close friend or a family member who has been talking about becoming a parent and thinking about how their partner would be as a parent, it should not come as a surprise, of course, if they decide to actually get engaged or get married or they end up being pregnant. The same goes for these big changes. If you've been wanting something when it comes to your career and you keep working on it, you keep putting in the effort and getting out of your comfort zone, it is no surprise that you will be successful. It is no surprise that at some point you're going to get there, group number 2. All of the little signs are hidden in plain sight. They're right there. If you're committed, you're going to get there, group number 2. Trust me. If you have this attitude of gratitude, this attitude of not letting anything get you down, there is no way that you will not accomplish your wildest dreams and goals. Now, the King of Wands shows me that some of the next big unexpected changes that are coming for you is the audacity that you're developing. I can see here in the King of Wands, we've got this fire sign energy that is not afraid to ask for what they want. And you're not going to take no for an answer. For you, no just means not yet. That's what I see here within the King of Wands. I want you to know here that being a little bit dramatic, being a little bit of a leader with audacity that isn't afraid to say, look at me, I'm the leader and I'm proud of it, that's not always a bad thing, group number 2. Sometimes you have to enter a room with that energy. Don't say it, just enter a room with that type of energy in order to not only convince others that you've got what it takes for that role to be the manager, the CEO, to get the promotion or get the job, but also to convince yourself that you're capable of the promotion, of the managerial role. Sometimes you have to fake it till you've made it. And I see here within the 5 of Cups that group number 2, one of the big changes coming towards you is getting comfortable with discomfort. And once you have mastered being comfortable in the uncomfortable, sky's the limit, group number 2. I don't know what else to tell you, because once you are comfortable doing uncomfortable things constantly, right? Like leveling up when it comes to your career, like leaving relationships where you don't feel respected and you know you're not taken care of in every way that you desire, removing yourself from toxic relationships. Once you get comfortable doing that, making the phone calls you don't want to make, replying those emails that you know you should get back to but you never did, opening letters that are scary, whatever it is that makes you uncomfortable, Keep practicing it, group number 2. I know it's hard. I've been there. I'm going through that currently. There are things that make me uncomfortable, but I try to do a little uncomfortable thing, a little chunk of those uncomfortable things every single day to get used to it, to start to get comfortable being uncomfortable, doing these uncomfortable things, because I know that these uncomfortable things, at the end of the day, it's just in my head. And the same goes for you, group number 2. The discomfort that you're experiencing is what you've made it out to be in your head. It is rooted in fear, in anxiety, in procrastination, and stress, and in just being overwhelmed, right? But you have the power to change that connection. You have the power to rewire how you feel about these things. But the only way you can do it is through facing it. The only way you can trigger big positive changes, especially when it comes to your entire life leveling up, is by facing the things that worry you and that make you feel afraid. Doing so step for step and celebrating every single step along the way. Now, group number 2, I will now proceed to cleansing your space, and then I'll be right back to go even more in depth into the next big unexpected changes that are coming for you. If you've made it to this point of your prediction, leave a little moon emoji below in the comment section to let me and others know that you were here. But now what I'll do is clear the space, and I'll be back in a second to continue going even deeper into your prediction. Welcome back, group number 2. Did you miss me? Now let's go further into the next big unexpected changes that are coming for you. I'm excited to figure out what your cards have to say and what psychic messages that will be revealed about the next big unexpected changes. So let's see what Spirit is guiding us to uncover for you, group 2. First up, we've got Justice. Now, within Justice, we've got the number 11. The number 11 is a master number, and this card of the Major Arcana is a card that shows that you've got self-control. It shows that you've got the sense of responsibility and great decision-making. So what comes as a huge change to you is that you can use this to your advantage in so many different ways that you weren't aware you were so strong in, okay? So someone, for example, not treating you in a way that makes you feel loved and special, a romantic interest, you have got the guts to cut them off, group number 2. I see that what comes as a big change is that you're not tolerating any disrespect, and you understand that there also has to be balance in relationships. It's not that you won't give people chances or that you'll cut people off immediately, but I mean, there has to be some reciprocity, right? We've got the scale here. There has to be some balance. It can't just be one person constantly giving, and that's where I see here within the Eight of Water that a big unexpected change is the ease at which you walk away from things with, okay? The ease at which you're like, the ship has sailed, it's okay, bye. I didn't need to be on that ship. That ship was not for me. It wasn't going to a destination that I wanted to be in anyways, and I'm just going to let that person, figuratively that ship, sail away from me because it wasn't the right one anyways. Now, the Eight of Water, as well as the Justice card, definitely shows here that when it comes to that common sense part of you, that rational thinking part of you, that is definitely a big function that is increasing. I see that you're becoming a bit more of a stoic, a bit more of someone who just looks as things as they are rather than as you are or as you're feeling in that moment. You're not letting for your emotions to control or guide you as much. I see here within the Ace of Earth that this is coming from a place of wanting more stability and practicality. And you're understanding here within the Ace of Earth that you also have to take a different approach when it comes to your financial setup and literacy if you want to create a life that is different from the life that your parents or your grandparents had. And that doesn't mean that they had a bad life or that they didn't do well given their circumstances and everything that they had to work with and everything they had to deal with. It simply means that you want more for yourself, and that's okay, group number 2. That's nothing to be ashamed of, nothing to feel a way about other than just you getting in gear to change things, to be that person that turns hope into reality. The Star card is actually a card of hope. It is a card of personal revolutions, as the Star card does connect to the zodiac sign of Aquarius. And Aquarius is a sign that's super innovative, super fun, isn't afraid to get out of their comfort zone. And I want you to know here in connectivity to the Star that you've got hope for a different life, a better life, a life that is more in alignment with who you want to become. And all you need to do basically is to follow through on those visions that you have. If you can think it, you can do it, you can achieve it, group number 2. And I see here within the 7 of Earth that what you need to work on is being persistent and consistent. Now the 7 of Earth definitely shows us that some of the next big unexpected changes that are coming for you have a lot to do with reflecting on past mistakes, but also past successes. So whether that be the type of school, the type of academic path that you chose, and that being a success or a bust, or for example, different job situations, different business ideas that you had. Maybe you invested in things that worked out for you or that you feel could be improved on. I definitely see here within the 7 of Earth that what comes as a big surprise to you is that the more you reflect, the more clearly you can actually map out a plan for the future. And it's not like you're just guessing and trying things. You're actually starting to really know what to do next, what the next stepping stone is, what the next step forward is, rather than just wildly guessing and just stepping in all types of different directions. Next up, we've got the Magician for you. Now, the Magician corresponds to the number 1, group number 2. And the Magician is a card of synchronicity. This is a sign of manifestation. And I want you to know here in connectivity to the Justice card where we had the number 11, the Magician corresponds to the number 1. So we've got the number 111 that is important to you. You may continuously see this as a synchronicity throughout your days, throughout your life. Maybe it's, 11 p.m. and 11 past 11 p.m. is what I meant to say. Maybe it's 11 past 1. Maybe you're seeing it on a license plate. Maybe you're purchasing something and the last 3 digits are 3 ones. I want you to look out for this moving forward, as within the 2 of Wands, I can see here that one of the messages we have for you about synchronicities is that they will bring you towards achievement and independence. The 2 of Wands shows me here that you've got a choice, and the choice is to either become more independent through your achievements, both financially but also emotionally, or stay codependent if you put yourself in a spot and in a situation where you don't walk away from what isn't working for you. Furthermore, taking inspired action in the 2 of Wands is one thing that's super important for you to hear, as one of the unexpected changes coming towards you is that as soon as you just take the smallest bit of action, you will find that you continuously see your synchronicities, your symbols, your numbers show up, kind of guiding you and reminding you that you are moving in the right direction and to keep going. I see here within the shadow that one of the things that will surprise you, though, is some of the trauma or connection that you have with materialism, group number 2. Now, what this means is that there are still some triggers in the material realms that you want to work through. So it could be that you, for example, feel better if you're wearing a certain brand of clothes, if you live in a certain area code, if you drive a certain car, if you're able to afford to go to certain restaurants and maybe put certain things on your social media channels. You may find that that still gives you a little bit of gratification, maybe not as much as it used to, but you find that there's still some satisfaction there. There's still some part of you that craves acceptance through fitting in by owning certain things, by having this certain air of materialism around you. Being real with yourself about these things can actually really help you level up and really help you untangle some areas of your life in which some of your confidence or some of your self-image is actually attached to what you wear, how you present yourself, makeup, hair, things like that. And I want you to understand here that what comes as a big change is that when you're just so accepting of the fact that the material realm is a part of life, and it's nothing to be ashamed of. And it's something that I think we're all working on detaching from. The more you accept that, the more loving you become towards yourself. And I see here that there is pure willpower and determination that is leading you towards independence, where you no longer feel like you need to always wear a certain brand of clothing, a certain outfit, a certain piece of jewelry, a certain bag, a certain kind of shoe, just something that makes you seem like, okay, this is the quote unquote level you're on in society. This is where you belong in the hierarchy. Because there's no denying, group number 2, that depending on what type of watch or brand of bag that you wear, it already puts you in a type of area code in society for a lot of people, right? It's almost like reading a person based off of what they're wearing, based off of the materialism that they've got, based off of the home that they own, the car that they drive. And it is really important for you to continue to have that determination to detach and to remind yourself that you are not those things. And people reading others based on that is often just a reflection of their own insecurities. It's a reflection of them feeling as though they too are just their stuff. Because the people who constantly compare what they own to others, who see another person and say, oh, this person must be like this or must be like that because they're wearing this expensive watch or they're wearing this expensive bag or they live in this neighborhood that is maybe affluent, maybe it's not affluent at all, maybe it's a neighborhood that is a little bit sketchy. People who make assumptions based on these things often also define themselves through materialism, through things. So remind yourself here that this goes hand in hand and you can step out of it. You don't always have to remain in a place where materialism is even part of your life at all. Know here within your intuition that it takes time, because I think society has trained us so well to feel good about ourselves when we look a certain way, when we're wearing certain things, that it can take time to detach. And it is a process. It takes years sometimes, group number 2, to detach more and more from your identity having anything to do with things, anything to do with what you can afford, but you will intuitively know bit by bit when you manage to detach, when you manage to get more comfort about just being you, when you can leave the house and you really don't care how you get to the place, what mode of transportation you take to wherever it is that you're going, what type of brands that you're wearing, how you seem to other people. You just want to be comfortable in your own skin. You just want to feel good about yourself. When you start to realize that that's how you're acting in a way that just first and foremost needs to satisfy and suit you, you know that you're on the right track to leaving this shadow, this dependence on materialism behind. I see here within sweetness that some of the next big unexpected changes coming for you are going to be some sweet, amazing changes that are a result of your determination to level up, to become the highest, the best version of yourself, to detach yourself from toxicity, from emotionally unavailable people, and to practice reciprocity in every event, like we spoke about with injustice. There has to be balance within your relationships. And I can see here within the fly that something that you have to take note of here is that when things are rooted in materialism, there is often a period of ill health that follows when you try too hard to get something in the material realm. And this is a message that you have to take seriously, group number 2. And I hope that you can appreciate. I read all cards. I am not one of those readers that removes quote unquote difficult or challenging negative cards out of their piles. I read absolutely all of the cards exactly as they are, because I want what's best for you, group number 2. I want these readings to have you prepared for anything that happens, and it's important for you to know all of the truths. Now, the more that you try to work as hard as you possibly can just to own more stuff, to impress people that you don't really like, that don't really care about you, know here within the fly that this will lead to depression and a period of ill health. And you don't even want it to get to that point. Of course, you can let it get to that point and then learn once that happens and kind of be in that situation and think to yourself, man, I should have never put all of these things before myself and my health. But we don't even need to let it get to that point, group number 2. That's why we're here after all, right? And I see here within the dark woman that you are learning through dealings or a relationship with a woman with dark complexion or hair about all of these truths. And I actually have this feeling that I am depicted here in the dark woman for you when it comes to these next big unexpected changes that are coming for you, talking about them, speaking about your synchronicities, your determination, and the sweetness that's coming for you, and being a part of this journey. So group number 2, I want to clear the space for you and move even a little further into these next big unexpected changes that are coming for you. So while I do so, please leave a little mountain emoji below in the comment section to let me and others know that you're still here, you're still with me, you're excited to receive this super detailed personal reading, and I'll be right back in order to go even more in depth about the unforeseen, unexpected changes that are coming towards you next. Hello again, group number 2. Let's get further into your predictions, shall we? I'm so excited to figure out what other next big unexpected changes are coming for you. So first up, you're being asked what you feel, group number 2. What are you feeling right now? What are you going through? If you're feeling brave, feel free to share it in the comment section below. You guys know the unicorn family is super supportive, filled with empaths, and just so many caring souls. One thing that you're being asked to look into is how you're feeling and why you feel a certain way. And if you're sometimes comparing apples with oranges, because sometimes we feel as though we're inadequate. Meanwhile, you are comparing apples to oranges because your life story has been so different. You have had a different amount of support, you have had a different amount of help, a different experience entirely in your upbringing and in your entire life story to anyone else on this planet. You are 100% unique, group number 2. So comparing yourself to anyone but who you were yesterday is just doing a disservice to yourself. Next up, we've got free from judgment, free to love. That is the true answer that we're receiving here. It's like your reading is coming to this culmination, to this full circle place here within this third part. So the next big unexpected change that's coming for you is the more that you internalize that there is no point in comparison or in even feeling any form of inadequacy, the more you feel as though you are freed from judgment. And now you're free to fully love yourself. You're free to stand out however you want to stand out, to do whatever it is that you would like to do, and to achieve the things that you have always dreamt of achieving without putting a cap or a limit on what is possible for yourself. Also, the less that you compare your unique journey to someone else's, the more you can also see the beauty in the rest of the world. I see here within going beyond normal that you're actually discovering some parts of yourselves that are extremely unconventional, that you didn't even know existed, group number 2. And I definitely see here within going beyond normal that you're opening your thought process up to things that other people maybe wouldn't even consider. So think to yourself watching conspiracy videos, for example, different types of documentaries where people speak about some of the truths or the hidden truths of planet Earth that everyone has been ignoring or has kind of just not even looked at with a magnifying glass, if you will, because the news is definitely super distracting. There are often a lot of things going on in the world that we never even hear of, or that we're never even aware of, because it just doesn't get broadcast in mainstream media. And we often have to look for that information ourselves, but it can cause such a change within our mindset, within our thought process. What immediately comes to mind for me, group number 2, is when I watched this documentary on C8, which is this kind of substance that's put on non-stick pans, and it is actually in the world's oceans. It's in everyone's water. It has completely destroyed a lot of ecosystems. It is very dangerous. It is very unhealthy. And these are things that are being kept secret. These are things where, yes, there are some documentaries, but why isn't this frontline news so everybody who has a nonstick pan can be made aware of the potential dangers and health risks, so they can make an informed decision to maybe switch to a material that is not so toxic, to maybe switch to pans that are not coated in this, what we know now is very, very toxic substance that has been built and put into the ecosystem that can never be removed from planet Earth. And it's in the entire world's oceans, group number 2. It's a very crazy story. If you Google it, I'm sure you'll be able to find it. There's this whole case. I think it is, I don't want to say the wrong company. I thought it was DuPont that was manufacturing it, but please don't take my word. Just know that if you Google this whole story, you will find a documentary that will give you the truth, and you will really be shocked. Now, group number 2, let's move further into your prediction. And after the storm, I can see here within the next unexpected changes coming for you is that, of course, first, when you receive these truths, be it through these documentaries, for example, through figuring out some truths that people haven't been talking about but really should have been speaking of, it's going to feel like this huge storm. It's going to feel like your mind is just buzzing and like you can't keep a straight thought. But I do see here within after the storm that then comes the building, then comes the putting pieces together and understanding how you can protect yourself from situations that are unhealthy, and how you can maybe contribute to a world in which awareness is spread. Next up, we've got receiving for you. So you are receiving something as a next big unexpected change, group number 2. I can feel that we're moving into a bit more of a lighter note of your reading. Group 2, your reading has definitely been deep. It's been filled with some unexpected surprises, of course, and it's also been filled with a lot of truths that are being uncovered. I see here within the woman that what you're going to receive is coming from someone who identifies as a woman, someone who has a lot of divine feminine energy. And I do see here within the older man that this is a joint gift from a woman and an older man. So maybe from parents, maybe from a couple, from someone who is kind of thinking of you and what they could give you together, and they're making this decision as a team. It could also be a raise or a promotion where two people had to come together in order for you to receive this gift. Now, I see here within the kangaroo that what it's going to affect are the unsettled times and your need to plan ahead. So receiving is going to have you feel as though you have support, and unsettled times can actually finally be dealt with in a less anxiety-laden way. So think, for example, your parents telling you exactly what's going to happen if they ever perish, or your parents kind of helping you out when it comes to student loans, when it comes to purchasing a home, and just these unsettled times being put to rest because there's a plan in place, you know what's going on. And in any event, especially a difficult event, it is clear to you what is happening. You don't have to guess. Someone has already communicated to you exactly what the future holds, or what they plan for the future to hold. I can see here within the eagle that there will be triumph over troubles and obstacles, group number 2. And this triumph actually comes from a place of you connecting with how you feel, and you being real with yourself about maybe just being super hard on your existence and wanting to finally leave that behind, and finally kind of like just allow yourself to feel happy with whatever you've been given, whether that is your body, your financial circumstances, whether that is your love life being however it is. I see here within the cobweb that you're protected from negative forces that are beyond your control, group number 2. And as a next big unexpected change, any type of negative forces that are kind of swirling around you, that are kind of in existence around you, they're not going to have any type of resonance in your life. They're not going to affect you in any way. So if people are arguing around you, you're not going to feel anything, no anxiety, no care in the world. I can see here within the hills, you're focused on your own obstacles. You don't need anyone else's pain, anyone else's challenges in your life. And you're finally just being a little bit selfish, but like in a good way, group number 2, in a way how you're reminding yourself that at the end of the day, there were so many instances where you put yourself out there and tried to help someone, and in the end, they maybe just turned it against you or they didn't appreciate it. We had the gong that popped out of the pile, but I think that happened outside of the video frame. But this is the next card that was kind of called into the reading for you, group number 2, and the gong is all about an exciting event that's taking place. And I see that this exciting event is a really positive one, right? It is freed from any type of negative forces. The gong also shows that some obstacles have been overcome. So think to yourself, an anniversary celebration, an anniversary party that you will be invited to, and I see that there are unexpected changes coming towards you then. You may meet someone here at this event, someone who takes care of themselves, someone who is ready to move into a relationship or settle down. I see here within the Queen of Pentacles that this person has a very dependable, kind of chill, earthy energy. They also have this mom energy about them because their divine feminine is something that they're super connected to, but that doesn't mean that they identify as female at all. It just shows that they have a side of themselves that is super caring and nurturing. Next up, within the Three of Swords, I do also see here that there is some heartache that you need to be made aware of, because some of these unexpected changes that are coming for you definitely have to do with a relationship that is falling apart. And I see with the older man and the woman that there is a relationship that you knew of that's happening around you where the man is quite a bit older than the woman. They've been going through unsettled times. They had to plan ahead. And the good part is that they're going apart and you know exactly what's going on with you, how to handle your connection with each individual, how to feel about it, what they're going through. But of course, the bad part is that they are parting ways, that two people who mean a lot to you or who you knew, whose relationship that you look up to, that is breaking apart, that's falling apart, and it's just showing you that when it comes to love, there is never any guarantee, right? So there's no point in expecting anyone or wanting of anyone to be with you forever, because things can always change and circumstances are just constantly evolving and constantly adapting to whatever is going on in the world. And sometimes that can lead to breakups. And I see that you're definitely witnessing some of these here in a very unexpected sense, sooner rather than later, group number 2. So do know that you are most likely going to be in a situation where a lot is happening with the relationships around you and you're simply observing. You're simply the one who is receiving information, who is also kind of receiving some love out of these situations, because these people have a lot to give and they're no longer giving it to a partner. And they maybe also have some gifts, some material things that they want to give to you because they no longer need them because they're parting ways, right? Or maybe it's rightfully yours if there are family members that are going their separate ways and they wanted to gift you something to ensure that it doesn't get lost in translation. It could be money, it could be some sort of property, it could be something material that means a lot, a family heirloom, for example, that you're unexpectedly receiving. Now, group number 2, this is the reading that I received for you. I really hope that you enjoyed the super detailed, chill, intricate reading. Make sure that you leave a little light bulb emoji below in the comment section to let me and others know that you received your entire prediction and that you enjoyed it. And if you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe. We clearly vibe with one another if you're still here. Know that I'm sending you so much love, group number 2. I hope that this video brought you clarity, healing, and freedom. And even if you feel a little better after watching this prediction or listening to it than at the start of this video, know that that is all that I wanted to accomplish. That is exactly what my channel is here for, to make you feel better and to support you on your journey. So if I was able to do that, then my mission was accomplished. So group 2, take care of yourself. Make sure that you stay safe. Know that I'm sending you all of my love, and I can't wait to connect with you during one of my upcoming predictions. Hello, group number 3, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Daily Crystal Inspiration Oracle deck, as well as the Amber, to help guide you to figure out exactly what the next big unexpected changes that are coming into your life are. This is the beautiful Amber, and I really wish that I could just pass it to you through the screen so you could feel how light this quote-unquote stone actually is, because the Amber is not a stone or a crystal in actuality. It's not a mineral. It's actually a piece of fossilized tree resin. Fun fact for you, group number 3. But now let's move into your tarot prediction, shall we? Let's figure out what the cards have to say about the next big unexpected changes that are coming for you. First and foremost, we've got the Phantom Quartz for you. Phantom Quartz shows me that group 3, what's coming next is a lot of change, but what you're doing is you're embracing change. In the past, you may have been afraid of certain types of change. There may have been changes in your life that scared you, or the thought of certain changes, such as changes in your career, in your personal life, losing someone whom you love. But I see here within the Phantom Quartz that you're actually embracing anything that comes towards you with full acceptance, full support, and just this inner strength and knowing that no matter what happens, you'll be fine. Group number 3. Next up, we've got the Carnelian. The Carnelian shows me here that why you're now able to do this and you're capable to kind of make this difference between whom you are and who someone else is because you're feeding your creativity. The more you create, you draw, you sing, you dance, you move, you write, the more you actually remind yourself of the fact that while you can feel bounteous love towards friends, family, romantic interests, there is still, to a certain degree, this separation between your life and your responsibilities and needing to embrace change no matter how it happens, and them, and the fact that you can't control their lives. You can't control how healthy they are. You can't control whether someone stays with you forever or not, and you're starting to be at peace with this. I see here within the next big unexpected changes that you're detaching in a really healthy and mature way from anxious attachment styles that you once had with other people. And I see in the Carnelian that what supports you every step of the way is your creative ventures. So whatever it is that feeds your creativity, that puts you into a flow state, that allows you to just do really focused work, that is where you can really find that thriving energy within. Next up, we've got the Rainbow Obsidian. I absolutely love the colors and how your guides are putting your reading together so far, group number 3. So the Rainbow Obsidian is all about your heart healing. And this makes a lot of sense. If you grew up in a home, in a household, or even experiencing relationships that made you feel insecure because you just never knew for how long someone would be around. You never knew whether they would leave you. You were always kind of afraid that people wouldn't be there for you the way you hoped that they would. Know that if this is something that you've experienced or had to go through, you may actually have some trauma, some sort of PTSD that you possibly never even realized that you had, group number 3. So it's also really important for you to take time to heal that and to know that you're growing from that and out of that through strengthening your self-confidence and the fact that you don't need certain bonds in your life. If they're in your life, they're there because you want them, and you're not attached to people in an unhealthy manner as to where you feel like if they left you, you wouldn't know what to do or you may fall into deep depression. No, you know that no matter what happens, you will be okay, and that the people who truly love you and care about you, they would never want for you to be a anxious mess if something happened to them. Next up, your guides want to talk about the moon. This is a major arcana card that corresponds to the number 18. This is one of my favorite cards of the major arcana, and the moon is all about a very changeable and intuitive kind of future. So I see that the next big unexpected changes coming for you are intuitive ones. These are not changes that your rational mind is inducing. I definitely see here that this is all about going with what you feel is right and listening to your inner voice and that natural instinct of yours, because the moon is also a card that is about caution. It's also a card that reminds you of the fact that not everything is as it seems. The world isn't just as it is the way you are, because you can look at things from different perspectives, right? Just think to yourself, if someone has a hard day, a really difficult day, and at the end of the day, they're on their way home, they're driving in their car, and they get into an accident, there can be two different mindsets, right? I mean, of course, there can be an infinite amount of mindsets, but let's just look at two different mindsets. One person may step out of their car, come out of the accident, and be really mad, be agitated, think to themselves, this is the last thing that I need on this difficult day. And then there may be another person in the exact same situation that steps out of their car and thinks to themselves, wow, this day is actually such a blessing. I didn't realize all of the amazing things today, and I'm so grateful for the fact that nothing happened to me, because it could have turned out way worse. I could have been unable to step out of the car and keep thinking, breathing, and living right now. So there are different mindsets that you can apply to the same situation, and the world really is a projection of how you see things, and that's what the moon is trying to communicate to you, group number 3. Next up in the Four of Earth, I can see that there's a lot of stability that comes from that type of mindset to you, and I see here that some of the big changes that are coming for you is stability in the home. So maybe right now you're not quite sure where you want to live, whether you want to purchase a home, whether you want to rent, where you're going to move to geographically. And I do want you to know here within the Four of Earth that having a really stable home base that you're going to be in potentially for decades or a lifetime is one thing that I can see coming for you. And of course, if you're a traveler at heart and you already know that you don't want to stay in a place for longer than a couple months or years, then know that you will find that next place where you can be rooted for this amount of time that is suitable for you. This Four of Earth is just all about stability. Whatever stability looks like for you, whether that is a year, 10 years, know in the Four of Earth that you're finding that's coming as a next big change when it comes to your living situation. Next up, we've got the Eight of Earth. So the Eight of Earth here shows me that through that stability, you will be able to fully be rooted within your creative arts and also kind of make more money and gain more financial stability because your mind is at peace and at ease when it comes to your living situation. Of course, if you're wondering about where you're going to live, what you're going to do, how you're going to pay rent or a mortgage, things can get very stressful and it can be hard to be in your creative space when you're going through that. But I see here in the Four of Earth and the Eight of Earth that what's actually happening is almost like this wave that's crashing onto your mental space where the stability just gives you the security that you need to be fully embedded within all of the creativity that you know you possess. Next up, we've got the Two of Air. Now, the Two of Air shows us here that some of the big unexpected changes that are coming for you is this indecisiveness that you're not used to. And this indecisiveness comes from blocked emotions, from avoidance, okay? So there are some emotions that are going to come up for you that are emotions connected to fear of greatness and the next big step. I know this sounds really wild, group number 3, but I think a lot of us, without realizing it, can suffer from fear of greatness where we block our own blessings and our own steps moving forward because we're kind of really scared. We're like, what if I am wildly successful? What if I do so well and this next step actually works out? I feel like subconsciously, a lot of us don't realize we're doing it, but we avoid situations that we know would be really great for our career or our personal life because we're maybe just not quite ready or kind of afraid of the success that will come with it. That's one thing that I see here in the Two of Air that must be discussed, because the Ten of Fire shows us here that you are ready. It's just all about this mental standpoint, this mental game of not allowing for yourself to feel like you're a burden, or like if you get to this next step, people will find out that you're a fraud, that you're actually not qualified, or that you're actually not good enough for it. Think to yourself, knowing exactly what you need to do in order to be in a healthy relationship, like the type of person you would have to choose, or the next steps that you need to take for that promotion, but kind of not taking them, or only half-heartedly taking steps in these right directions, because in a sense, you've grown comfortable and accustomed to what you already know, and changing that can be really scary. Group number 3, I totally get that. I totally feel you, and I definitely don't want you to feel as though this is something that's unusual, or that this makes you someone who is crazy or who's doing things that nobody else does in a negative sense. No, I think we've all been there and we've all done that. Next up, we've got the Eight of Wands. So the solution that the universe has for you here in the Eight of Wands is to be in alignment with what you want, and you will see yourself progress. So being in alignment with what you want means being very clear about how you see your future. And I think a lot of us don't really know what we want very specifically. And by not really knowing, I mean saying that you just want to be happy in the future. That's not knowing, group number 3. Really knowing is saying exactly where you want to live, how you want to live, what your home or your apartment looks like, what area of this world you want to live in, who you're living with. Are you even living with someone? Exactly how much you're making every single year, how much money that you have to spend on various areas of life, how much time that you have, how's your health doing, how's your family situation, how many friends do you have around you, do you have children? This is what I mean here in the Eight of Wands with actually knowing what you want your dream future to look like. And group number 3, I recommend that you write this down. Leave a little rainbow emoji below in the comment section to vow that you will do that, that you will truly figure out where you want to be in the future so you can actually work towards it and manifest it. And also, leaving that rainbow emoji below will let me and others know that you were here and that you chose group number 3. I really think we underestimate the power of having all these details figured out for yourself, knowing what it is that you want, and also reaching for the stars, because once you've done that, you can actually be in alignment with your goals because you know what they are to begin with, and you can choose all of the options and opportunities that allow you to progress towards those goals as quickly as possible. So the star shows me here that just doing that as a big change is going to propel you to harmony. It's going to create a complete renewal. So if you haven't journaled in a long time, group number 3, and you haven't written down things like your goals, where you see yourself in the future, how you want your life to be, know that this is like the universe and your guides calling you out, telling you that in order to have these big positive changes come into your life and be a part of your journey, you actually need to do a little bit of work, right? You need to think about what it is that you want. You need to write it down so you can take inspired action towards it. Next up, we've got the Judgment card. So within the Judgment, I can see a huge awakening, a huge moment of spiritual enlightenment, and you moving into a portal in a space that you've never been in before that seems dark, but the darkness isn't scaring you because you know that when you move beyond you see as your current limitations, there is a place of creation, there is a place of limitless possibility if only you allow yourself to visit that space. And I think most people are too afraid to see what happens beyond what they know, but not you, group number 3. I see here within the Fool that what comes as a huge unexpected change is a complete fresh beginning, a complete reset of your mind, a complete reset of your business and your personal life. The Fool is the first card of the major arcana, and it corresponds to the number 0. The Fool is all about optimism, freedom, new beginnings. And the Fool also shows us here that this blind optimism is exactly what you need. Group number 3, if you've ever looked at certain celebrities and you've thought to yourself, how are they so blindly optimistic? How is it that they just say they want to do something and they accomplish it? How is it that each and every year for 10 years, they can put out 1 or 2 albums a year that are successful, that are amazing? How is it that these creatives can create this beautiful art that is just always so popular and so relevant? So just having that type of confidence and putting that into your craft is what will propel you to the success that you desire, group number 3. And you've got what it takes. I see here that your guides in the universe, they want to talk to you about the type of energy to put forth. You may have some Taurus placements within your birth chart. You don't have to be a Taurus in your sun sign, meaning your zodiac sign. You can also be a Taurus in your moon, your rising. I want you to know here within Taurus that what you want to cultivate is this kind of unwavering determination and being very practical about things, being very stubborn about your success. So not taking no for an answer, knowing that no just means not yet. Also, being very practical and having this unwavering determination, meaning that you know in order to be successful, you're going to have to do things over and over and over again until you're really good at them. Just think about it, group number 3. The amount of videos that I have on my channel, literally hundreds of them, it took me years and hundreds and hundreds. At this point, I have filmed thousands of groups in order to get to where I am today, and I'm still not done. I can still improve tenfold on my predictions, on my connection with spirit, with your guides, and I'm doing so every single day. But just think about it. I have repeated this process of filming, of building my business, of creating products dozens and hundreds and thousands of times, depending on what it is that you looked at, and there's still so much growth. And that is one thing that I can see here within Taurus, that your guides are trying to communicate to you, to stay strong and to remind yourself that it will take repetition, and that's okay. It doesn't have to be boring. I want you to know here within the 10th house that this is the house of your career. So your guides are really here. They're listening. They're with us here in the reading, group number 3. And the 10th house is about taking authority over your public image as well as your career, and reminding yourself that the mountain is you, so to say, like that famous book, right? Often what we really need to overcome is not necessarily the tasks at hand. Those tasks are not rocket science. Those tasks at hand, whether it's uploading videos, whether it's reading, whether it's working out so we can be healthy, it's not something that is so insurmountable that we couldn't do it on a daily or weekly basis. It's often just a game that we have in our heads of getting over the discomfort that we have created mentally. Because just think about it, when you don't want to work out, group number 3, for example, and you're procrastinating it all day or all week, you think in your head that, oh, it's going to be uncomfortable, I'm going to sweat, it's going to take time, I'm going to have to shower, I'm going to be sore afterwards. You're making up all of these scenarios, and in that time that you procrastinated, you could have just done it, and I promise you it wouldn't have been that bad. And at the end of the day, the feeling that you have after working out, I mean, it's always a good feeling. So that is where I definitely want you to remind yourself of the viewpoint again, of perspective. You can focus on how you will feel, the positives, once you've worked out or done a task that you're procrastinating and you don't really want to do, or you can focus on how difficult you think it's going to be, or how treacherous the entire process is and procrastinate it, right? So it's either about just getting it done or allowing for your mind to take over, for your emotions to control you. And it's really up to you, group number 3, what you decide to do. But these are the messages and the guidance that your angels have for you, and they definitely want to push you towards just doing, thinking less and just doing, and not being afraid of repetition and not feeling as though that's boring, because you really need that for your success. Now, group number 3, I will now clear and cleanse the space for you so we can move even further and more deeply into the next big unexpected changes that are coming towards you. So just give me a second to do so, and I'll be right back with you. Hello again, group number 3. Did you miss me? Let's move even further into the next big unexpected changes that are coming for you. I will be using this tattoo tarot deck in order to move into your psychic prediction even further and more deeply. Let's see what type of healing, what type of messages that your guides and the universe have for us, shall we? So Let's see what's going on. We've got the Ace of Swords for you. Now, the Ace of Swords shows me a great, brilliant new idea that we need to talk about here when it comes to the next big unexpected changes that are coming for you. So that's what this part of your prediction is all about. An amazing idea, and let's figure out how that's going to change you. Okay, we have another card that popped out of the pile and kind of just crashed into our little setup here, which is the Star. So I see that this idea is going to change your outlook on life and give you a lot of hope for the future. Now, this idea is going to make you feel as though the future is bright and there is nothing that you cannot accomplish, group number 3. And the Star shows me that this hope and this kind of fresh energy that you're getting from this amazing innovation that you're working on is what's driving you forward, right? Hope is what's making you continue to wake up every single day and put in the work, be there for yourself and for others, and just overall live life, because it isn't easy, group number 3. I see here within the 4 of Cups that this is an idea that you're being called to keep to yourself. Let me tell you why. What others don't know, others can't spoil for you. And I know that this sounds really dark, group number 3, but there's a reason why you guys call me the unicorn mom. There's a reason why you guys say that I have this big sister energy. And as a big sister to you, group number 3, I've got to tell you, sometimes there are situations in life where it's best to not share with anyone, not even your closest friends and family, because they may project their insecurities onto you. If you've got a great business idea or you're an artist and you just know in your heart you're going to make it, you're going to be able to lead this life that you've always wanted to lead, and you tell others about your plans, you tell others where you're going. Some people may feel tempted to tell you that you're crazy or that what you think you're going to accomplish is impossible. And that's not because it actually is impossible. It's just a projection of how they feel about it. They think it's impossible, but that doesn't mean that you need to think it's impossible or that it is impossible for you. But often when that happens, the damage is already done, especially if you're speaking to someone whom you really care about and whose opinion you cherish, whose support that you would have needed. Think a parent or a close friend or even a sibling, a spouse, and all of a sudden you realize like, wow, they really don't think that I can do this. And it's not because there's any ill will towards you. Remind yourself, it's just a projection of what they think is possible in this lifetime, of what their reality is. It does not need to affect you. But the best thing to do is not even let it get to that place, group number 3, and keep this innovation and your big dreams to yourself right now until you've gotten on the path of accomplishing some of the next big goals, because the only thing you can really do in these instances is just show people that you can do it. Talk is cheap, just do, and everyone will say, wow, I should have believed in you, or now I believe in you. And it's sad that it's like this, group number 3. I definitely had my own experiences with that as well. Becoming a YouTuber full-time, a business owner, there were definitely many moments in which I thought to myself, why are people all of a sudden supportive now when I needed the support the most, when I was just starting out and things were just projections in my head of what was possible and nothing had actually been created yet? Where was the support then? But you have to remind yourself that this is often a very lonely road, and it's a road where your mindset is everything, group number 3. And that's just being honest. That's just coming from someone who's been there, who's done it, and who knows that you just can't count on support during very important times when it comes to people's mindset having to be a lot more open and broad-minded than they're maybe capable of at that point in time. So don't count on any type of support when it comes to huge dreams, because I do see here within the Magician that you've got to be a leader. You've got to be the one who sets the example. Just think about it. The first person who thought of creating a vehicle or an airplane, there is nobody who would have believed in them because it's never been done before. People would just look at them and probably say it's crazy, but they had to be a leader. They had to be the first one to do it for people to then say, oh, okay, yes, I see, this is possible. That's the type of energy that I see here in the Magician as well as the Ace of Swords. We've got the number 1 2 times. And I want you to know that this is a number of action. This is a number of power and concentration, focusing on yourself and your goals and the things that you want to accomplish, rather than worrying about what someone else may think or where someone else's support is. If it's never been done before in your family or in the history of your ancestors and you're the first one to break the pattern, believe me, you're going to have to overcome obstacles that are mental, that are emotional. I see here within the devil that, of course, there will be temptation to feel like maybe I can't do this after all. Maybe I can't succeed. Maybe my dreams and goals are way too big and my aspirations are too outlandish or crazy. But it's important for you to not be bound in chains by these types of unnecessary thoughts that are holding you back, to not be bound in chains by the constrictions that maybe society or your community has put on you and what you think that you're capable of. And there's so many different examples of this. Even just identifying as female, trying to break into certain areas of business, you may already find there that you've got some sort of subconscious beliefs that it has to be harder or it's impossible. It could be that when it comes to your heritage, your looks, your skin tone, that there aren't many people in the fields that you want to excel in that look like you. And that already kind of puts this chain on you, this little bit of reservation within you of wondering whether it's possible for you or not. And one thing that I see here within the devil is that you have to completely ignore that, break free of that, not give it any power, any room, or any space, group number 3, because it doesn't need it and it doesn't deserve it. So make sure that you become very real and honest with yourself about the areas of your life and your mental space in which you're maybe holding yourself back without even realizing it. Yes, it's all about consciousness. Group number 3, your guides and your angels are here right now within the prediction. It is such a heartfelt reading. It's such a deep reading that we're receiving for you, group number 3. It's absolutely beautiful. I really do encourage you to leave a little star emoji below in the comment section to let me and others know that you've chosen group number 3 and that you're still here with me, because this reading is really just so telling, so deep, and so inspirational. I absolutely love this, group number 3. Let's move further into what your guides have to say. So we need to talk about some of the disruption, okay? And the disruption is something that we already spoke about within the devil, but I also want you to know here that the only cause of disruption is you, your mind, your belief. You don't have to let anything else disrupt your path and your journey to success. If you've always wanted to be famous, or if you've always wanted to lead a life of financial freedom, the only disruption that can come into your space is what happens for you mentally. So your guides really do want you to focus on meditating every day, on taking care of your mental health. Seek out therapy if it's accessible to you, if it's something that's possible for you. Otherwise, journal. It's like free therapy. I also have some gratitude and mindfulness journey journals on my website that I have created for you that you can fill out every single day in order to keep your mental health intact and to stay as positive as you possibly can. And also do know here within be open to receiving that what's coming next as a big unexpected change is that you're receiving these innovative ideas in different ways that you never thought possible. So you may have this next huge idea for a business or for what you want to do just through listening to music, through listening to a podcast, through watching a YouTube video, a pick a card tarot reading, for example, a psychic prediction by your fave, Vanessa and I. You know what I mean, group number 3. Being open to receiving comes in so many different shapes and forms, and you can find inspiration in anything, even in just walking through an old town, through a city, through traveling to a place that you've never been before. Do know here that being open to receiving, it's a whole mindset. It's just seeing inspiration in the little things every single day. Next up, we've got Stormy for you. So within Stormy, I can see here that being open to receiving will also come with a whirlwind of emotions. And what comes as a big unexpected change is possibly also a lot of happy tears, a lot of joy that you didn't know you were capable of. Just doing things that are so mundane, that seem so simple, that you never pay that close of attention towards. So maybe taking a shower and thinking to yourself, wow, there are so many people who wish they even had water to drink, and here I am just bathing in it every single day, and I'm not even aware of the type of gratitude I could experience if I put my focus on the fact that my life is so abundant. Or even having access to the internet, that's something that a lot of people wish that they had, and realizing this can also stir some feelings of shame and guilt if you haven't given these little or seemingly little luxuries of your everyday life the gratitude that they deserve. But it's never too late, group number 3. You can start now. Know within Upside Down that, again, it's all about perspective. Be proud of yourself for even ever noticing this. There are so many people who will be so privileged for their entire lives that they never notice these little things. They will never get to experience the joys of what it means to be grateful for absolutely everything, no matter how normal or mundane it may be to you. Know that the fact that you have even developed the emotional intelligence to realize this, to cultivate an experience where you're like, wow, this is really great. That is something so precious and something to be so proud of. Group number 3, see it from that perspective rather than beating yourself up for being too late, okay? Because being too late is something that I feel is so overused, this feeling of not being on track, this feeling of, well, I'm 20 years old, I thought that I would be successful by now, or I thought that I would already have my life figured out. Being 30 years old and feeling like you should have already had 3 children, been married, had a successful job, own your own home, your own vehicles, and that may just not be a reality for you. And feeling as though you're late just because you have put this type of accomplishment to a number for whatever reason, that is something that you are being called to disconnect from, to completely turn upside down and remind yourself that maybe for you, there are just other priorities that you were focusing on. And that doesn't mean that your life has been any less successful. It just means that your energy went to a different area, and that's what you focused on during that time. Not what you thought you would do, but what actually happened. Those are 2 different things. All of my beautiful souls of group number 3 in the King of Cups, I do also want you to see here that what comes as a big unexpected change is a lot more maturity from you when it comes to your emotions, understanding that the best thing you can do is be tolerant and caring, not only towards yourself, but also towards others, and letting yourself cry when you need to, letting yourself scream when you need to, letting yourself be angry whenever you feel it's necessary, rather than bottling those emotions up. And if you were never allowed or encouraged to express difficult emotions growing up or in different settings, be it at work or at school, know here within the King of Cups that you can at some point express these things freely. You may not always be in a position where you're already there, but know that at some point in life and at some point in time, you will be making these decisions, and you no longer need to adhere to how other people want you to express your emotions. You're getting there, and it's definitely a process. It's a work in progress, but do know here that you're taking full power and full responsibility. The 3 of Cups shows me that what you're actually working towards with this amazing idea that you've got for a business or for your personal life is to create more harmony, not just for yourself, but also for your family and your community. So the work and the ideas that you have always are rooted in philanthropy. So of course, you want to create an amazing life for yourself, but you want to do it knowing that you provided some sort of value, love, or support in this world, and that you did something good. And that's something to be proud of, group number 3. Not a lot of people think that way. A lot of people have very self-centered mindsets, but I can see here that when it comes to your ideas and you moving forward and you being creative and also just building something, right? Building a business, building a legacy. You want to take others with you on the journey. The King of Cups shows a very protective and diplomatic type of energy that you're exuding. So group 3, I will cleanse the space and clear it one more time for you. And then we'll move a little more deeply into the next big unexpected changes that are coming towards you, because I really want you to have as much information as possible. I want you to leave this reading feeling like you had a lot of insight, feeling this healing, supportive energy. So just give me a second to cleanse the space, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, group number 3, let's get further into the next big unexpected changes that are coming for you, shall we? Let's see what the universe has to say. Faith in the process is what we've got first of all. So one of the most important things when it comes to these next big unexpected changes is to have faith. And faith means that you're moving away from fear, because rather than allowing for fear to keep you confined, you simply have faith, believe, and trust in the fact that your process is unique. There will be challenges, but there will also be victory for you. That's one thing that we've got here within faith in the process. And when you've got faith, success is really the only outcome possible, because you have completely removed fear from the equation. So you will be acting in a way that shows confidence. I see here within what do you feel that it's important for you to also be reminded that your feelings matter, and that you shouldn't be comparing apples with oranges. So someone else in your situation may feel differently, but that doesn't mean that your feelings aren't valid. Someone else who went through the childhood or the experiences that you've been through may feel a different way about it, may have had a different coping mechanism. That doesn't make your coping mechanism any less valid or any less important or any less real. It's so important for you to remember the validity in yourself and your emotions. I can see here within Pandora's gift that some of the next big unexpected changes coming for you, group number 3, are going to feel very, very big, very glittery, and in a sense, unexpected in the most positive way, almost like you're opening this Pandora's box of possibilities that you didn't even know existed. And I do see here that the unexpected changes are going to bring a lot of this sensation of, wow, I didn't even know this existed. Like I didn't even know this job opportunity existed, or such healthy romantic relationships were even possible. That's one thing that I can see here within Pandora's gift for you. We've also got the dragon. One thing about the dragon is that it's trying to communicate to you to be aware of self-delusion. And I'll put that right here within what do you feel, as well as connecting that to faith in the process. I want you to know, group number 3, that self-delusion is really the scariest thing, or how should I say, the biggest obstacle that you're going to have to get through in order for the next big unexpected changes coming for you to all be the types that you desire, right? Because if you're dealing with self-delusion, you may actually even be in a position where you feel as though you don't deserve these things, or these big changes shouldn't be for you. Let's see what else the universe has to say. But actually, you're a king, you're a queen. Honor and respect will come to you. The crown popped right out of the pile of cards, group number 3. It really wanted to speak as we were going on about the self-delusion aspect of the next big unexpected changes that are coming towards you. And that is something you must never forget. That is something that your guides and your angels want you to constantly remember. Your crown, to not let it slip, to not let it fall, and to remind yourself here that honor and respect are what come to you when you give yourself honor and respect. And when you remind yourself here that whether it's your emotions, your life experiences, or your struggles, they're valid, they're worthy of respect, care, and attention. And as we've got here within the 6 of Wands, you are the one who sets your value. You're the one who sets the tone for how other people speak to you. You teach people how to speak to you, how to communicate with you, group number 3. Because if you let people disrespect you, then you are basically saying, saying, hey, it's okay for you to do this because I'm allowing this. You set the tone and you set the bar for yourself. If you set clear, firm boundaries with people, and you also show other people through actions that you care about yourself, by putting yourself first, by saying no to certain things because you're taking care of yourself, because you're doing things for you. So therefore, you can't always invest time in other people. That shows that you care about yourself. That shows that you put yourself first, and other people will then treat you accordingly because they see the value you place on yourself. So they assume, oh, this is what this person is worth. So you really create your own value. And you do that in the workforce as well. I want you to know here in the Knight of Swords that when it comes to your dreams and aspirations that you have, when it comes to your career, you're the one who sets the tone that says really what you're worth, how much of a salary that you're supposed to receive, what you're capable of, what you bring to the table. And sometimes you just need to say it out loud, especially if you're having a conversation with a boss or just with someone you know is in the process of figuring out what's happening with raises, with promotions, things like that. Know here in the Knight of Swords that sometimes you just need to say out loud what type of tasks specifically you bring to the table, how that helps the entire establishment, what you're worth, what you expect, what you're okay with, and what is beneath how you feel your value is. I see here within the Ten of Swords that it's time for you to be done with overthinking whether you're asking for too much. Group number 3, you're someone who always plays it a little too humble. Your humility is something to be proud of. The fact that you're down to earth, that's really great, okay? That shows that you've got this maturity and this level of introspection and emotional intelligence that not everyone has. But at the same time, you can also go a little too hard with that. And that then leaves room for other people to snatch opportunities and jobs from you because you're just being a little too critical with yourself. That's what I see here within the Ten of Swords. And that is something you've got to start working on and walking away from. I can see here within the Bat that you are being called to take care because there are people waiting for you to overthink so they can take your position and your part. There are people waiting for you to say, maybe I'm not qualified for this, or maybe I'm not good enough to date this person, to have these material riches in my life, to be a successful business owner. And trust me, someone who believes in themselves is going to be right there in that spot, taking over exactly what it is that you had doubts about. And they're maybe far less qualified, far less grateful, far less thankful than you are. But what they had was this belief that they're worthy of it. And that's definitely something that needs to come as a big change for you, group number 3. That's something important that your guides wanted to talk about. Next up, we've got the needle and thread. Don't worry, group number 3, there are solutions to the fact that you are too humble for your own good, too grounded and down to earth for your own good at times. The needle and the thread is a message that a sincere wish will be granted for you. So know that a next level, a new level of self-confidence, self-preservation, self-love, that can come to you through not only work, but also through sincerity, okay? If you're looking to increase your confidence, if you're looking to increase the positivity that you have towards yourself and your ventures, this is coming from a sincere place. If you're doing this because you want to make a positive change in the world. And we have magic that popped right out as I was shuffling this deck. So this goes together with the needle and thread for sure. This is a message that needs to kind of be merged together. Know that sincere wishes will be granted almost like magic, group number 3. Don't question how or why, just know that the fusion of sincere energy and a sincere heart with work, with manifestation, with the fact that you're putting your best foot forward will create magic. It will create flow. That's another message that we have for you, group number 3. And one thing we need to talk about separately within flow is your flow state. So there's this book called Ikigai. I believe that's like a Japanese word for like flow state, being in your flow state. So if you've ever been creating and time just passed by without you even realizing, right? If you've ever been so deep in work, group number 3, or doing something that you love that you don't even realize how time passes by, that is your flow state. And that is what I can see here, that your guides and your angels want you to get back into, to focus on being in this state every single day in order for some of these big changes to be able to manifest more quickly. I see here within love is in the air, that the next big unexpected changes coming for you is definitely more love as well. And if one of your wishes in life is to find a sincere, true love, a lover that can be with you for a lifetime, know here within love is in the air, that is definitely something that's coming as a huge change for you. But this is a really positive change, right? Because you've always wanted it, but you have to speak up. That's the condition with love is in the air. You can't just think in your head, oh, I want love. Like, you actually need to speak it out into the universe. And if you're right now in a place where you're with other people, group number 3, you may not want to do this because yes, it can feel a little bit embarrassing and it can invoke feelings of shame. So wait till you're alone. But if you're, for example, driving somewhere, you're by yourself right now, you're chilling, you're listening to this pick a card reading for yourself, group number 3, say out loud that I deserve love. I deserve a lover that respects me. Say that right now with me. I deserve true, pure love. I deserve someone to love me who respects me deeply. You have to tell it like it is. You have to say it out loud. Once you speak the words, group number 3, you've already done a good chunk of the manifestation. Of course, you also need to put the work towards finding love, right? If you're always in your home or just at work, you never put yourself out there. Of course, it's going to be hard for love to come into your life. So you'll also have to actively put yourself out there. But in order for those efforts to not be in vain, you definitely need to speak it into existence, tell it like it is, tell the universe or God, whatever it is that you believe in, what you want, and prioritize reflection if you have uncomfortable feelings about this. Prioritize why you feel discomfort when talking to the universe or talking to God or talking to yourself. That should be one of the most intimate and comfortable conversations. You should feel comfortable asking for things because it is a private moment. It's not something that you have to share with others. So where does this shame come from? And does it really need to be there? Or can you move forward, letting go of it and understanding that that shame was never necessary? I can see here within time to move on that your guides, your angels are answering the question for us, group number 3. It's time to move on from feelings of guilt and shame when asking for what you want, when telling it like it is, when propelling true love into your life that you know you deserve, that you know you're ready for, that you know you can grow with, flow through, work with. You don't have to be perfect before a lover comes into your life. You don't have to be all healed and in your grind and having figured out your life's purpose. No, you can do that all with the right person. I see here within the 9 of Rings that one big change that's coming for you that you maybe didn't expect is more security and abundance when it comes to the material realm, when it comes to the aspect of your professional life, right? When it comes to things such as your bank statement. Know here in the 9 of Rings that through creating more abundance in that area of your life, it will also be easier to date because you don't have so many things going on mentally that make you feel like you're in anguish, right? Now, the 5 of Cups shows me here that there is a little bit of avoidance that you will need to confront with these next big unexpected changes that are coming towards you. So the changes, whether they be in love or in your professional life, I want you to know, group number 3, that these changes will have you sometimes feeling like you just want to avoid the situation altogether. Like, you know these changes are positive, but at the same time, you don't know if you want to make time for it. Like, you don't know if you really want more responsibility at work. You don't really know if you're ready for a healthy type of relationship, because sometimes if all you've known is drama or toxicity, it can be a lot easier and feel a lot safer to continue on with what you already know. And that's where your guides are trying to kind of push you towards the best version of yourself, towards not choosing to continue patterns, especially if these patterns are patterns that have run through your family, of maybe choosing partners that aren't as respectful as they could be, or maybe not being as confident, not taking credit where credit is due and giving credit to other people. You have to break the pattern, group number 3. You have to be the one that stops avoiding doing things differently and just realizes that flow exists when you're being authentic. And who you are, group number 3, authentically is a pattern breaker, is a game changer, is an innovator. And I want you to step into your leadership role when it comes to that. That is the main message that you're meant to receive from your pick a card tarot reading, from your psychic prediction. So group number 3, we are at the end of your reading at this point. I really hope that you enjoyed it. Make sure that you leave a crown emoji below in the comment section to let me and others know that you made it to the end of your reading, that you were part of group 3 and you enjoyed it. If this was the first time that you are on my channel, don't forget to subscribe. If you watched it all the way through, we clearly vibe with one another, and I would love for you to stick around in the unicorn family. So thank you so much for being here, for sharing this magical time and space with me, group number 3, and I can't wait to connect with you during one of my upcoming predictions. Hello, group number 4, and welcome to your Pick a Card tarot reading and psychic prediction. You chose the Sacred Destiny Oracle deck in connectivity to the Black Obsidian Crystal. And if you fast forwarded straight to your group, my name is Vanessa and I, and I'd like to welcome you into your reading. So let's first do a close-up of the crystal of your choice. This is the gorgeous Black Obsidian. You may have chosen this stone because of its beautiful appearance, or maybe because you felt like it resonated with your energy, but subconsciously, you may have also felt drawn to this crystal because this crystal helps clear and cleanse negative energies and free your space from any type of unwanted vibrations. So that is all reason as to why you may have chosen this crystal. But enough about your crystal. Let's figure out what the next big unexpected changes are that are coming for you. So first up, we've got wisdom. Group number 4, I can see here that you're maturing, you're growing. Maybe you've even got some meaningful, significant birthdays that are coming towards you. Like, for example, your prefrontal cortex finally being fully developed at the age of 25. Maybe you're reaching your 30s and you think to yourself, wow, this is really a moment of more clarity and wisdom and understanding that growing older and aging isn't that scary. Maybe you're turning 18 or 21 and all of a sudden you've got to be wise with some decisions because by law, you now need to take care of yourself and also take responsibility for your actions. Next up, we've got some new beginnings coming towards you. This new beginning in your life comes as a huge unexpected change for you, group number 4, because you just didn't expect for things to happen so rapidly. You didn't expect for new beginnings to come so quickly and to have to kind of be the bigger and wiser person so early in your life. I can see here that it actually makes a lot of sense because through diligence, through always being mature, through always kind of being that person who has been an old soul or wise beyond their years, of course things are happening more quickly in life for you. Of course some things are progressing at a very quick pace, group number 4, and it is because you've just always been destined to be that person who is a little bit ahead, who has some life experiences far sooner than their peers. And I see here within Power that what that actually gives you is not only wisdom and tools in order to deal with emotions in difficult situations, but it also increases your personal power because now you've been through tough times in life. You've experienced things that other people maybe couldn't face or couldn't handle whatsoever. But you have, group number 4. And this gives you the power of knowledge, of experience, and also of knowing exactly what to do in difficult situations. So when you go through tough times, when you experience things that you feel are very heavy, or that you feel trigger this old soul inside you, know that this just continues to build character and continues to make you more powerful, because now you've had so many life experiences way ahead of your peers that puts you in a position of power. Now, the Eight of Wands here shows me that it's important for you to take good care of yourself on your journey moving forward, because the unexpected changes that are coming for you are going to pull you in a lot of different directions. So with more power comes more responsibility. Think more responsibility at work, but also in your personal life, being the one that a lot of people rely on. You're like the glue that holds everything together. And here in the Eight of Wands, as well as the Magician, it becomes very clear that you have to be selfish in many ways. So one thing that I do unfailingly every single day, group number 4, no matter what's going on in my life, I have to do my meditation and I have to take time to read. Also, healthy eating. That is something that's a non-negotiable. I am not going to go to a fast food restaurant with a friend or a family member. I am not going to skip out on eating a healthy meal, because that is just where I have to be selfish and put myself first. Because in order to be able to be in my personal power, to be able to be there for people, to be the glue that holds certain situations together, I have to be operating at a level where I am healthy, where I'm taking care of myself, where I'm respecting myself. I need to fill my own cup. And that is the type of attitude that your guides and your angels want to relay to you. They want you to adopt this. I see here within the Queen of Swords that doesn't make you selfish at all. Of course, sometimes you got to be cutthroat and you have to just tell people no, group number 4. And that's something that I see here in the Queen of Swords that you can learn to do in a way that is still gentle, in a way that people can still be receptive towards. That doesn't make you mean. That just shows that you know what you want, group number 4, and that you're not afraid to ask for it. And people will respect you for being truthful and honest rather than just telling them what they want to hear. That's also why it's so important for me to always be very real with you in these pick a card tarot readings and not take out any challenging messages, but keep everything in, whether it's just pleasant news, whether it's news about things you have to watch out for. It's important for you to be honest always. And that's one thing that I see here within the Queen of Swords. Next up, we've got the Judgment card. Now, the Judgment card does show me that what comes as an unexpected change for you is letting go of some of the judgments that you had about yourself, but also people from your past. So you may have judged some people for cheating, for lying, for deceiving, for treating you unfairly, but you're starting to realize that this is often just a reflection of who they are or what they've been through in life. And you're starting to feel for people, even if they've wronged you. This is the art of forgiveness that you're truly beginning to embrace and realize is such a magical gift that you actually give to yourself, because you're no longer holding on to grudges. You're no longer leaving any space for other people's hurt or trauma to affect you, group number 4. Leave a little lightning bolt emoji below in the comment section to not only represent the fact that you are part of group number 4, to also let me and others know that you love and respect yourself to the extent that you want to give yourself this gift of forgiveness, and you're not going to pass up on it. You're not going to allow for people's actions to live rent-free in your head. And no, sir, group number 4, you're taking good care of your mental space and you're cleaning and cleansing out anything that doesn't belong in your head. Next up, we've got the Three of Wands. Now, the Three of Wands shows me that you're very happy to collaborate. You've got a lot of foresight when it comes to jobs and creative projects. And that's where I see that some unexpected changes coming towards you have a lot to do with you being the leader. We have that represented in the Magician, but also within power. The Magician corresponds to the number 1 and the major arcana, and the number 1 is a number of taking the lead, of spearheading any type of idea or project, of being the one who says what everyone else is going to do, right? Delegating. That's what I see in the Three of Wands, and being someone who is well liked in a position of power. Now, the King of Coins shows me that at the end of the day, the bottom line is what is important if this is a work project that we're talking about. Now, the King of Coins shows me that what comes as a next big unexpected change is actually that you're learning a lot about how to handle your finances and also how to build a successful business and company. And I do see here in the King of Coins that you're not to be played with. You are learning the trade in more detail than anyone else, and you're understanding that knowledge is power. So you're continuing to learn. The Knave of Coins shows me that there's like this progression, right, from the Knave of Coins to the King of Coins. And you're not afraid to say that you're a beginner or that you're just starting out with something. And that shows a lot of humility. That shows the fact that you're not afraid to be humble, where being humble is necessary, because you will listen to those who came before you. You will take their advice because you understand that if someone has accomplished something that you're trying to do, clearly they have valuable information, and it's important for you to listen to them. Now, the Three of Swords shows me that when it comes to connecting with other people, I can see some unexpected changes that are coming towards you with those who feel like they're in competition with you. The Three of Swords shows me here that they will feel as though you have kind of betrayed them once you outshine or outgrow where they are. And I see that what comes as a big unexpected change is that some people who you thought were friends or supporters will actually start to behave really weird around you and have this really funny energy. And you're just realizing that it's like the more you accomplish and the more success that you've got in your life, all of a sudden the less support you feel like you have from them, or the less they actually want to talk about work or things that are going amazingly well for you. And I can see here within the needle and the thread that there are just a lot of wishes that are being granted for you, group number 4. A lot of things that are just seamlessly happening, almost like putting this thread through the needle, right? And creating this kind of tool that can help you. So if you, for example, always wanted to be in a loving, caring relationship or marriage, and that just kind of works out for you, right? It's like putting the thread through the needle, and now you've got this tool, you've got this marriage, this relationship that you can now use even more to create your dream life, because now you've got a partner in crime, you've got like a best friend, you've got someone with whom you can do business with whom you can invest with and create a future with that brings stability. And here with the Three of Swords, I can see that there are definitely people who are jealous of some things just working out for you. There are definitely people who feel like, why you and not them? And their energy is going to be really off and weird. And I see here within the butterfly that all of the changes that are happening for the better with you, group number 4, just pay close attention to who's truly celebrating it and who is still finding something to complain about or still asking you weird questions as to how you got there or why you got there, or is not really celebrating with you the way that you think that they should. If people constantly change the topic when you talk about the amazing accomplishments in your life, that's a red flag, group number 4. That is definitely a red flag when it comes to friendships. And I want you to know here within the butterfly to pay close attention to how people are behaving during your metamorphosis. I see here within the older woman that the best friend you will really have is an elderly woman. This could be a grandmother, a mother. It could just be like an older friend like me, group number 4, like that friend that's like a big sister, just someone who you feel is older than you. They may actually be older than you biologically speaking, and they celebrate the changes for the better. They celebrate everything that you've been through, and they've got an eye on the people who are not congratulating you the way that they should. They've got an eye on your surroundings, and they will tell you when they feel as though someone isn't giving you credit where credit is due, and you need that unwavering support. And that's the type of friendship that you're being called to pour into, group number 4. Next up, we've got the rooster for you. Now, I see here within the rooster that there is a boastful and arrogant person that you shouldn't cross. So even though things are going well when it comes to your career and you're moving into a different type of echelon of society, there will still always be boastful, arrogant people in areas of power, and it's important for you to not cross them unnecessarily, because honestly, any unnecessary drama is just going to distract you from your work. And sometimes people in positions of power, they don't have anything better to do but to exercise that power in order to reiterate to other people just how untouchable that they are. So still look out for that moving forward. Surrender, be the bigger person. Sometimes it's really just not worth it to get into it with certain people, because certain people are vengeful. They will do whatever they can to ruin your reputation or kind of put rocks into your path or into your way, and you don't have time for that. You don't have time for any holdups. I see here within rest that the best way to get over wanting to speak up against someone or about someone who has done something wrong is to just take a little moment to step away from the situation and rest, group number 4, and remind yourself that there is a time and a place for that, but there is also a time and a place where it's counterproductive, counterintuitive, where you're not actually doing anything for yourself or anyone else, but you're simply just making life more difficult because some people have already decided and made up in their heads how they feel about things. So it's important for you to work on areas of your life where opinions can be changed and people are malleable and situations are flexible, rather than trying to change a stone wall or trying to make something flexible that is clearly not meant to be bent. Now, group number 4, I will cleanse the space and come right back to you with more intricate details about the next big unexpected changes that are coming for you. Very clear, concrete details about what's coming towards you. So just give me a little moment and I will be right back to guide you deeper into your pick a card tarot reading. Welcome back, group number 4. Let's move deeper into your prediction on all of the next big unexpected changes that are coming towards you. Let's see what Spirit has to say. First and foremost, we've got your 6th house, which also corresponds to the number 44 in this deck, which is a master number. So if you continuously see numbers 444, know that this is inexplicably connected to your 6th house at this point in time. The 6th house is the house of health, of your daily routines, of your job, of everything that requires discipline. And I want you to know here within your 6th house that your guides want to talk to you about sustainability in your self-discipline and in your daily routines. Group number 4, be honest with me. Are you taking time for yourself every single day to do things such as meditate, to learn something new, to read, to educate yourself? That is an important question for you to not only ask yourself, but to answer honestly. Because one thing about the next big unexpected changes that are coming for you is that they will only be sustainable if you are in alignment with what your body, mind, and soul needs. Just as we have all the chakras aligned here, you need to align your needs in a way that you will be able to keep up with amazing changes. If you become the CEO or the boss of a huge company, of your own wildly successful company, or you become a parent, you're in a relationship that's romantic, that needs attention and care and love, you will only be able to truly perform in these areas of your life where great changes are coming if it's sustainable in the long run. Otherwise, these changes will come and go, and that will be fleeting, that will be scary. That's not what you want. You want to ensure that the next big unexpected changes, the positive ones, that they stay with you in the long term. I also see here within your 4th house that what's important is your home life. You want to take care of your home life. The 4th house is also connected to your past. So if there are certain things from your past that you didn't appreciate, that created instability in how you felt about the most sacred spot in your life, which is your home, you have the power to change that. Especially if you have moved out from your family home or you just have your own little private space, make it exactly how you want it to be, group number 4. You don't have to have it adhere to how you grew up. You can make your own rules, regulations, create your own vibe and your own kind of little safe space where you know that you can always retreat to no matter what's going on in your life and your existence. Let's see what else Spirit has to say, group number 4. We've also got Cancer. Cancer actually connects to the 4th house, and we have this number repetition in 4. The 4th house, we've got the number 42. We've got the 6th house, which corresponds to the number 44, which I told you right off the bat in your reading, the number 444, or just the repetition of 4, is an important synchronicity for you, group number 4, right? And then we also have Cancer, which corresponds to the number 4. It's the 4th sign of the zodiac. And guess what? The 4th house corresponds to the 4th sign of the zodiac. These two go together by default. Cancer rules the 4th house, and Cancer is the sign of the home, of loyalty, of caring, of family, of immersing yourself in your emotions. Group number 4, it is undeniable that your guides and your angels are here. They're speaking very clearly to you, and they're speaking very clearly through me about the number 4 and paying attention to this synchronicity, as it will lead you towards where you need to go. So pay attention to your number, group number 4. So moving further into your prediction, I want you to know here that the next big unexpected changes that are coming for you have to do with your home life and also solidifying your relationships. They have to do with relationships that are mutually beneficial, that are respectful, where there is love and care. And the loyalty runs both ways. And I do see here that the more you're in alignment with your home life, and you've got work-life balance, the more big changes are going to come into your life that you're excited about. Wow, this reading is such a positive one for you, group number 4. We've got the 9 of Cups next, which corresponds to the wish card. This is like the genie in a bottle card of the tarot. This is the card where you can wish for something and it comes true, basically. It's a card of manifestation. So this shows that some of the next big unexpected changes have to do with something you have been dreaming about for a long time. You've been wishing that this would come true for you, group number 4, and it's finally going to come to fruition. Now, it may feel like a dream come true, but do know here within the 9 of Cups that this is actually something you deserve. This is something you've been working towards. And because you've got this very humble and down-to-earth side of you, you didn't think it would happen so soon, but actually some of these next big unforeseen changes are positive ones that you have earned. Next up, we've got the 8 of Wands as well as the 10 of Pentacles for you. Let's do a close-up, group number 4, so you can see exactly what these cards look like. So let's first talk about the 8 of Wands. The 8 of Wands here shows me that it's very important for you to create work-life balance if you want your material gain to be able to be sustainable in the long term, because the 10 of Pentacles shows me fulfillment when it comes to a big purchase, like finally closing a deal on a home, finally being able to afford your dream vehicle, affluence, and creating permanence in this state is something you can only do if you're healthy, because at the end of the day, all the money in the world isn't really worth anything if you're not healthy, if you can't enjoy it, if you're unable to actually be there in the moment. That's the message that I see here with the 8 of Wands and the 10 of Pentacles. So know here that your angels and your guides, they're really speaking to you about hustle culture and how there are positive things that we can take from it, such as being disciplined, being ambitious, but we also got to be careful that we don't fall victim to burnout, to overworking ourselves, and to just doing too much, forgetting about the importance of the connection that we share with friends and family, how we make other people feel, and how much time we spend with those most important to us in this lifetime. Next up, we've got the 9 of Swords. Now, the 9 of Swords here shows us that when it comes to these big unexpected changes, there's definitely a little bit of worry and guilt. You feel as though you haven't spent as much time as you really should with some of the people closest to you, with family and also friends. So reach out to them, group number 4. Don't let that guilt or that worry, that anxiety fester, because there's no point. But I get it, group number 4, because sometimes if you haven't reached out to someone in a really long time, you may just think to yourself, well, if I message them now, they may be mad, or they may think to themselves that I just want something and it may seem weird. Try to just get out of that mindset, because trust me, people who really care about you and love you and are friends of yours, true friends of yours, they will just appreciate hearing from you, period. That's where I see here with the Ace of Pentacles that turning a new leaf comes as a surprise, because there is less of a feeling of discomfort the more, of course, you put yourself in uncomfortable situations, especially socially speaking. But I see here in the Ace of Pentacles that the more you do that, the more you will also find that you can find new solutions at your job too. There is this prosperity that you can access that you've never accessed before through just being very solution oriented and always being that person who finds a way to make things work rather than finds why it isn't working or why something may go wrong. You are the type of person who is focusing more on how it may go right and things may go well. And this causes endless serendipity. That is an unexpected change that I see as a result. And it's unexpected because you didn't think it was this simple. You didn't think that all you had to do was be positive, was focus on solutions in order for them to somehow magically appear in your life. But sometimes it really just is that simple. Group number 4. Confessions shows me here that the more that you kind of realize that a lot of people are dealing with their own struggles and a lot of people really just haven't figured out their own life, the easier it will be for you to also be real with yourself about your own shortcomings. So if you think about your parents, for example, and you compare what age they were at when they welcomed you into this world compared to what age that you're at right now, group number 4, you may think to yourself, wow, like I really don't even know who I am yet, and I can't believe that this is even in the same area code, if it is in the same area code. Or you may think to yourself, wow, they had so much more time to develop, to grow, to become their own person. And just making these comparisons and seeing that even though someone maybe had the role of a parent or of a manager or a CEO, that doesn't mean that they knew everything. That doesn't mean that they were necessarily ready, but they did the best that they could. And it's important for you to also give yourself some grace when you're just simply doing the best that you can, group number 4. I see here with an openness that what comes as a huge change as well is just feeling more comfortable inviting people into your personal space and your home, hosting more parties and more get-togethers in your sacred space. As we spoke about, the number 4, the 4th house, Cancer, 44 with the 6th house, this all corresponds to your home life, to the most sacred areas of your existence. And I can see here that you're opening the doors to more people to come and visit you, to be invited. Maybe you're throwing little parties, not big ones, just small get-togethers with friends and family, maybe grandparents as well visiting you, you hosting them rather than it always being the other way around. Just openness, opening your door, being a leader, being the one who is actually saying, hey, why don't you come to me? Why don't you come visit me? Why don't I spoil you in my sacred space and open my home and my door and my heart to you? That is one thing that I can see here that's happening more and more, especially if you're an introvert. It may just always have felt very uncomfortable to invite people into your home and into your own space. But I do see here that you're trying to get over that a little bit and remind yourself that if you're paying rent, a mortgage, you just have a home that you're taking amazing care of, that's cute. It may not be perfect, but it's still meaningful. It can be so nice and therapeutic to invite people into it and to use that space, to really utilize it, especially if you don't usually do that. I see that going forward, being more social and letting your introverted side, of course, have space to breathe, but also be challenged is one thing that I can see here on your path forward that comes as a big unexpected change. But you see so much potential in networking more, in connecting with people more. It still looks like a big mountain to you that you're climbing, that you're getting used to, but you understand that there is so much potential that lies in fostering amazing relationships with other people, be it when it comes to job opportunities, when it comes to love, when it comes to having support when it matters the most. It is important that you keep your relationships intact, that you take care of them, and that you nurture them. And I see you making more of an effort with this moving forward, group number 4. And this is something to be really proud of. And this is something that I see is really sustainable as you're creating more balance between work and a personal life and being an introvert and an extrovert. So group number 4, I will cleanse the space and be right back with you so we can move more deeply into the next big unexpected changes coming for you, because I definitely feel Spirit has more messages, more unexpected changes that you need to hear of. So please allow for me to do so, and I'll be right back with you. Welcome to your cleansed and fresh space, group number 4, so we can delve even more deeply into your pick a card tarot reading. Let's see what next message that Spirit has for you. We've got the Queen of Earth, taking care of your resources, guarding them, being very loyal towards what has been loyal to you. Those are the messages that we've got coming through in the Queen of Earth. If you've loved someone, you'll always love them, group number 4. No matter what they've done to you, there will always be that little soft spot in your heart, that little protective instinct that you have. And the Queen of Earth here shows me that what comes as a big unexpected change for you is that you feel that being reciprocated. You feel a lot of support and love for from your community. So maybe you're going through a tough time and people are showing up with more support than you ever expected. I see here within the Four of Water that the situation that you thought you might have to go through by yourself and in isolation is actually going to come with the opportunity of you connecting with other people if you want to. But I do see here within the Four of Water that you kind of prefer to deal with difficult times, depression, things like that, on your own and by yourself. There is this sense of not wanting to be a burden, not wanting to make other people's lives more difficult than they need to be. And I see here that as a next message from Spirit and your guides in the Ten of Water is to remind yourself that it's okay. Everyone has their own coping mechanisms, group number 4. It's okay for you to cope with things however you see fit, however works for you. The Ten of Water shows a lot of joy, peace, and your family being in a spot where they feel happy for you as well. And this is what I can see that comes as an unexpected change, just how much harmony we really have here, how much positivity we've got going on in your life. And I see here within the Messenger of Water that there's also someone who will bring you an important message of moving forward with equality, with equality between you and other people, whether these are people from other genders or other backgrounds. I see here in the Messenger of Water that you're not afraid to stand up against adversity when there's difficulty. You're not afraid to speak up for the underdog or speak up for yourself. And I see that your friends and family are so proud of you. So if you're, for example, in a workforce where you're realizing that some people are being promoted that maybe really shouldn't be promoted, or some people are getting jobs just because the company is trying to put on a certain image, in the Messenger of Water, I can see that you're speaking up about it. And the Queen of Air shows me that you're someone whose opinion people value. I can see a lot of wisdom and also honesty, just coming from a place of caring for the future, for future generations, for everyone who's coming after you, group number 4, because you don't just care about yourself, you care about the planet, you care about the future generations that are coming, whether it's your children or other people's children, even just young people that you see walking down the street, kids, little babies. I see here in the Queen of Air that you feel as though it's your responsibility to speak up in order to create a better world for those who come after you. And that's a very selfless way to be. Next up, within Time to Move On, group number 4, I can see that some changes that are coming for you have to do with time just being up for certain things in your life. And I want to figure out what those things may be. You're going to have to move on. It won't be easy. It may feel like you're leaving everything in a situation that is unsettled, that is unclear, but let's see what this is all about. We've got the Bridge. So I see that with the Bridge and Time to Move On, actually moving on is the only way for you to successfully overcome a problem or an obstacle, because when you're constantly focused on an issue, sometimes it can be difficult for you to remember that no matter how hard you try with some people or situations, there has to come a point where you move on from a certain approach. Now, that doesn't mean giving up or abandoning something. That simply means that you're realizing that that approach just may not be the right one, and to try something else. I see here within the cat that it's time to move on from a two-faced friend. You can't change who they are. I see that there's someone who has repeatedly spoken to you, been friends to your face, and then behind your back, something else happens. They turn into a different person. They speak less highly of you, or they even kind of tell other people your secrets. They may even spread rumors and say things that are not quite true. And that is where I can see here that it's time to move on. If you've had a friend like that in your life, or there's currently someone who you're dealing with who you realize is two-faced, you have to move on in order to successfully overcome this problem, because you cannot change them. The only person who can change them is they themselves. But if there's a problem here that has to do with your career, group number 4, that has to do with some sort of work project, know that what you can do is remove the two-faced friend from being in a position of power, is remove the two-faced colleague from the equation to overcome this problem. Not give up the project, not give up the responsibility, or give up the fact that you could take credit for solution-oriented action. No, but removing the problem as in just removing that person. I can see here within the vine that what can help you is to just seek out knowledge and information. Knowledge is power, group number 4. Seeking out information that will help you can do so much more for you than you ever realize. Just reading books every single day, group number 4, it is life-changing. You won't realize it in the first days or even the first weeks, but after a couple months, you will realize how this really changes you on an internal level, and how you more and more just seek out information that will help you when you have an issue, rather than just sit there hemming and hawing or asking yourself what you could do. You actively problem solve. Now, the archway shows me new opportunities, possibilities, and paths that are opening up for you. So the unexpected changes that are coming for you have to do with moving on. The more you're unafraid to move on from something that isn't helpful or toxic or just makes you feel uncertain, the more you will actually open up new possibilities and paths for yourself, because you're showing that you're unafraid to walk away. Okay, we've got 2 cards that want to speak and that want to continue on in your reading about the next big unexpected changes that are coming for you. We've got the best of you, as well as create and progress. This makes so much sense for you, group number 4, because the more you show that you're unafraid to walk away from a situation that doesn't serve you or anyone, that is toxic, that isn't healthy, the more you will show that you value always being at your best. You value the best of you. You're not going to settle for less. And I see here within Create and Progress that what is important for you is to stay in your divine feminine creative process. So to have these hobbies of yours that allow you to simply just create, to be in your flow state, to progress at something where there isn't any pressure. So progressing at something where there isn't any pressure means your livelihood doesn't depend on it. Your relationships don't depend on it. You're simply doing this from a place of your own interest and of just having your own passion in it. Okay, so it's like making music in your spare time, drawing, painting, just overall doing something that is just for you, group number 4. That's what I can see here will unexpectedly change your life, and will unexpectedly is what I meant to say, give you a completely different vibe, aura, and energy. If you've ever noticed someone walk into a room, everyone's eyes all of a sudden are on that person. People look up from their phones, from whatever they were looking at, and they look at that person, and their gaze kind of follows that person as they walk across the room to the chair, the other side of the room, wherever it is that they're going. And it's almost like that person has a very magnetic energy, right? That person has some unspoken story that is interesting about them. That's what I mean with your energy changing, your frequency just being inexplicably on a different level. And that's something that you can achieve the more you create, the more you progress. I see here within anger that something that you didn't expect as well is that there is some built up resentment or anger that you can work through the more that you are in your creative vision, and you can let out anger through different types of creative processes, whether that is through poetry, through writing, and just being very real and honest, whether that has to do with art, with dancing, you can let out a lot of these energies of anger when you're in your flow state. And that will actually create confidence, because you know that if you've got any anger, if you've got anything that's bothering you, you know exactly what you need to do in order to shift that energy, in order to use that energy to your benefit, rather than allow those energies to control you, group number 4. So I definitely see here that there is a huge increase in confidence that comes towards you the more that you focus on your hobbies and the things that just bring you joy, that have nothing to do with money, they have nothing to do with impressing anyone. These are just things that you love to do, where you can be authentic towards yourself. Next up, we've got Mercury in reverse. Now, Mercury in reverse shows us some Mercury retrograding, group number 4. It shows that Mercury is in a space where there can be confusion. I see that also your Mercury placement may cause some anger. It may be a little bit of a challenging placement that you have within your birth chart, but that's okay, because we can work with this. Anger is simply energy that you can transform, that you can see from a different viewpoint, that you can use to your benefit if you just learn how. Next up, we've got Cancer in reverse as well. So as long as you make sure that you don't allow for these unwanted energies to enter your home in a harmful way, as long as you keep unwanted energies away from the relationships that mean the most to you, group number 4, the more you will find that you can actually transfer and change and shift these energies into ones that serve you, that drive you, that kind of give you more ambition and determination to do the things that you have always wanted to do, that you've always dreamt of doing, group number 4. So as an unexpected change, what comes for you is that you realize that every emotion, every difficult situation, every struggle can serve you. It simply depends on your outlook and on how you choose to see it, what areas of you that you choose to activate, to alchemize it, group number 4. At the end of the day, this is all in your power. You are the queen of earth. You're the one who decides when it's time to move on. You're the one who decides how things affect you. Life really is just 10% of what happens to you and 90% of how you react to it. Now, group number 4, make sure that you leave a little Queen of Earth emoji below in the comment section, a little Earth Fairy emoji, so me and others can know that you made it all the way to the end of your pick a card reading and prediction about the next big unexpected changes that are coming for you. Make sure you thumbs this video up right while you're down there to let me and the YouTube algorithm know that you enjoyed this reading. And of course, ensure that you're subscribed to my channel if you've made it all the way towards the end of your prediction. We clearly vibe with one another, and I'd love for you to stick around and be a part of the unicorn family. So thank you so much for being here, group number 4, and for spending this magical, divine time and space with me. And I can't wait to connect with you during one of my upcoming predictions.